Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, just say yes. And also let me know what the weather is like where you're at. So here in San Diego, it is a freezing 63 degrees. And so it is not at all feeling like winter. So let me know if you have like pretty snow outside and a little bit of frost. And I kind of miss sitting next to a fireplace and listening. Oh, thank you. You can hear me. And just listening to, the crackling of the fireplace. I think I sent out, if you've been on the mailing list, I sent out some emails where I was like, if you need some ambient noise, and they were both like very wintry places with a crackling fireplace, and one just had snow falling outside. And sometimes I just listen to those in my 63-degree weather to try to pretend like it's kind of like winter. So, yeah. What do we have? And just so you know, I meant to start on time. If you signed up via StreamYard, I'm really sorry because I had to cancel that stream. I don't know why. I'm having problems with StreamYard lately. Um, so yeah, let's see. I also set this up on my computer so I could double check that you could hear me. Lori, cold but clear in Northern California. Very cool. Um, Happy New Year, Karen. Nighttime here, so darkness. Okay. Wanda, yes, New York City, mid 50s and raining. Donna, for Australia, I think it's the opposite season. So it's like summer in Australia, right? I think because it's at the bottom of the equator. One day I'll learn that. I'm 47. I still don't know how the world like temperature works. Um, Julie, San Jose, Carol, Mississippi. It's 80 and cloudy. Okay, you win. It is definitely way hotter where you are than where I am. Donna, I love the music you sent. Awesome. Annika, night here, so dark has been rainy. -2 in Iowa. You win, Sens 1999 with snow on the ground. That sounds lovely, actually. I know you're like, it is not that lovely to drive in it. Um, Super windy, Carol. Yes, summer here. Okay, I got it right. It is summer over in Australia. Raining here in Hawaii, but glad to drag myself out of bed to be here. Awesome. Chilly here in Albuquerque. Terry, warm in Texas, but a cold front coming tonight. That's exciting. It's funny. There were like I've been following like these two fitness people on YouTube, and both of them moved to San Antonio just for warmth. One was Monica Brandt, and the other one, I can't remember her name. She's like one of those big, like she has millions and millions of viewers, but she moved from Alaska to San Antonio. She was like, all of my fitness dreams will come true in San Antonio. So I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds like maybe we should all move to San Antonio to get in shape. Raining here in Hawaii, but glad. Oh, I saw that. And hot and sunny here in New Zealand, Texas in shorts, but will be cold tomorrow. Karen's summer day in North Carolina. Oh, that is very odd. Hello from Maryland, raining here. I don't like it at all. It's supposed to be 30 tomorrow. Yay, 80 and 30, sunny in Northern California. Terry, so it's their fault. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right into the slide. So I know the question on everybody's mind. So I only sent it out to one of the mailing lists, which is I have two mailing lists. I'm sure you like some of you are on both. I got an email and you were like, remove me from this one because I'm getting 2 emails a day from you. But the mailing list for Pretty Fabulous, I sent out 5 Starbucks cards, and for the first time ever, they were all claimed. So the last time I did that, some of them weren't claimed, and because I wasn't able to get the money back, I don't know if that makes sense. So this year, like I copied and pasted, like I like typed it in to make sure, like if they didn't want to use it, I could like get it back. But everyone used one. But don't worry, I will still give one extra away. What else happened today? I think that was it. That's as exciting as today has been so far. All right, I am going to try to share my slides, and you can have all of these slides. I honestly was just working on them right up until the last minute. So I will definitely share them with you afterwards. I will just send you another email. So let me hit share screen. That will work. So I am going to share the window. I'm going to try to share the whole window. We'll see how that goes. Entire screen. Okay, so you should see a weird picture in picture thing going on. And I think I can just go over here and hit play. And I think it will work. Can you see the screens? I don't even know if you can see. There's a delay from where I am watching. So I'm just going to make sure it works. Yes, you can see everything. Okay, great. So, little housekeeping. We're going to get out of the way really quick. First of all, make sure you download the workbook. A couple people emailed me. You have to go into Crowdcast, but I think obviously if you're watching this, you're here now. If you're watching on YouTube, I put the link in the description. Hopefully, I don't know, like it didn't, I like added it literally at the last second. But if you go to Crowdcast, you should see the link at the bottom that just says download workbook. And then you can download it. It's only like, I shouldn't say only, it's about 50 pages. So it's fairly substantial. And then over here, if you missed it, there was a Christmas Day sale. So make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube because I don't know if anyone knows this. I've left social media. So I left Instagram, I want to say like the middle of last year, like in May or something. And then I left Facebook and I've never gone on TikTok ever. So if I need to post something, I will post it to YouTube. A couple things I did post this week to Instagram because someone had tagged me. Like I'm still on there as a consumer of content, but not really like pushing stuff out. So I like reposted a couple things, but like that very rarely happens. Like if you want to know what's going on, it's always like YouTube because it's just easier for me to do one thing. In fact, I don't know if anyone's noticed because I also quit BookTube, which was my Lisa Latte channel. It's like Lisa Seifert Cozy Mysteries. I quit that like the beginning of the month. And then since then, well, Vlogmas happened for December. So I have posted a video literally every single day for all of December. And it's just, I think it's a good example of like, I was really spread too thin this last year. And by just getting rid of a lot of stuff, I was able to only concentrate on one thing. And so we're going to talk about that with the doable dozen, which I'm sure you kind of guess means like one task per month. And it's mostly because I'm seeing all of these other people posting like their year like end review and like their yearly like recap, and they're all like, I did this in January, and then I did this in February, and then in March I did this. And like, I sound like I'm making fun of them, but I'm actually really jealous, right? Like they were so organized that they like not only knew what they did every month, they made some major accomplishments every single month. And so that's why when you look inside the workbook, I put together the Goal Getters Club because I really just wanted to be with other people who also were like, you know what? When the year end comes this time next year, I'm also going to be able to send out a recap saying, I did this in January, I did this in February, I did this in March, etc. So what was my point? Oh, my point was by just focusing only on the Pretty Fabulous YouTube channel this month, I literally only just posted, I was able to post every single day, which is kind of unheard of. I don't know that I'll keep up that pace for next year, but because all of a sudden I just had all this free time with not having to worry about two channels, I was able to use all of my like video creative energy to post to this one channel. So just something to think about. So if you are not a subscribe, so right underneath on YouTube, you'll see like there's a subscribe button. Just make sure you hit subscribe. If you're already subscribed, you can just say subscribe, but you also want to hit, there's like a little bell to the right. I don't think anyone knows this. There's a bell. And then if you hit all, you'll get a notification every time I post something. So Facebook, you know how there's posts and like nobody ever sees them. That's why I'm not even bothering with Facebook. But on YouTube, you will only see the posts if you say you want to. Like YouTube just lets you decide if you want to see somebody else's post. But you can still use this code today for 20% off everything in the store if you would like, buy 20. Also, if you were not on the mailing list, honestly, I don't know how you would have found this video because I don't do any paid ads. It was on my list of things that I wanted to learn for 2021. And if I'm totally honest, which I always am, it never happened. And so I had purchased from there's actually a really good Amazon ads course from Bobby Kim. He is an author, he's a romance author, and it was like $1,000. And then literally like the next day after I'd bought it, or the next week or month or whatever, he made it free. So if you want access to this $1,000 Amazon ads course, it is now 100% free. He was like, you know what? I'm making so much money from cryptocurrency. I still don't understand. He was really nice. I'm like, how are you making so much money? And he like explained it to me, but I still don't get it. But he was like, I'm making so much money. I don't even need to charge for all of these author courses. He's like, so everyone can have it for free. So, I know I didn't ask for a refund, but yeah. So if you wanted access to that Amazon ads course, which is very thorough and very good, it is now free because Bobby Kim doesn't need to charge money for it because he's making so much money on cryptocurrency. And what was my point? Yeah. So that's why I said this will probably be 2 hours. Every year I'm like, this will only be an hour. But realistically, I think you guys all know I'm very chatty. And I haven't even looked at the comments. Let's see. Okay. Got the workbook. It's beautiful. Printed it all out. It's a lot of paper. I appreciate your focus. Awesome. Okay. So what was I saying? I was trying to say the newsletter had a bunch of cool stuff in it. So we're just going to go over that really quick. So newsletter subscribers, first time ever, so I don't know if anyone else has seen this. So when I was doing this, I was like, do I give out individual cards or do I just give out one card? Because I've seen people do that on social media and email, and they're like, here's a card. It's loaded with, I don't know what, right? Like, is it $5? Is it $50? And they're like, just go to the store and use it, right? And inevitably, I don't know about you, 101% of the time, every time I go to Starbucks to use one of those things, they're like, it's empty. It's already been used, right? And so I was like, that's like a bad experience. Like, I feel like personally, I always have a bad experience. Like, I don't want to like run. Plus, I'm on the West Coast. So I feel like that's kind of unfair. Like, because the email went out at 5 a.m. Like, what if you're on the West Coast? One, are you even up at 5 a.m.? And if you are up at 5 a.m., there for sure are no Starbucks on the West Coast that are open at 5 a.m. because nobody here really works that hard, right? Like the East Coast, New York, for sure, you can find a Starbucks open 24 hours and a lot of them at 5 a.m., but not here on the West Coast. So that's why I just sent out individual ones and why this year I had like copied and pasted them so I could get them. But I still want to give another one away. So here we go. Hey, Google, give me a number between 1 and 20.
Here's a random number, 1.
Give me 1. That has never happened. Okay, let's see. Who's number 1? Who signed in first? Well, I think those are old. I think Karen. Karen, are you here? Karen on Crowdcast. Exit Zombie is your handle. I think everyone, can you see the screen? Karen, if you're here, are you here? Karen, are you here? I know there's a delay. So Karen, if you're here, it was Exit Zombie, Karen. So if you're here, send me an email. And actually, that's not true. You don't have to send me an email. I will make a note because I think the system gives me your email. I shouldn't say think. I know it gives me your email. So Karen, Exit Zombie, if you're here, say hello in the chat, and then I will send you a Starbucks card. You're in England. Yeah, it's okay. They have Starbucks in England. They have Starbucks everywhere, like everywhere. It's like McDonald's. It is everywhere. Karen, awesome. Okay, I will move on. Let's go back to our slides. Where are they? I don't know where they are. There they are. All right. So that was one thing. So it pays to open my emails. Also, I really like this little thing that I made here. We can do it. So 2020 goal getters. I really think there's like something to be said about momentum and everyone moving towards the same direction. And that's why I created that Goal Getters Club, because I think it helps to have other people around you who are super focused on what you want to do. So on Wednesday, to help you like prep for 2022, because some things like take time to think about. And I never stop. I was watching like a ton of other year-end planning. Some were I paid for and some were free. And I always found it kind of like awkward when they're like, okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to think about that. And then, like, the person just sits there. I don't know. If it's not virtual co working or like a co working session, I just find that odd. So, I gave you on Wednesday a word cloud to think about your word of the year. And you don't have to have a word of the year. And for the most part, to be totally honest, I completely forget about my word of the year. Like as soon as February hits, if someone asks me, hey, what's your word of the year? I'm like, uh, huh. I don't know. And so that's why they always tell you if you have a word of the year, put it like all over the place. Like put it on post-its, like put it in your calendar, put it on a poster on the wall or something, right? Because most likely, I'm guessing you're like me and you're probably going to forget your word of the year. In fact, I had to go back through all of these like past ones to find a word, what my past words of the year were. But luckily, I do this plan with me every year, so I was able to find it. I also gave you a big list in your email too, just to think about like other words, right? Because when you think about there's like so many words in the English like language, right? And or whatever language you speak, but like it's hard to pick just one. So I had a lot, and honestly, maybe your word of the year might change every month, but the whole point of a word of the year is something to like inspire you and like motivate you and like get you moving forward. And so in the past, I've used ambitious, I've used focus, and then in 2021 I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm just going to strive for things. It's possible that wasn't a strong enough word and that's why nothing happened. And then so for 2022, I also said, try to narrow it down to a few different things because when you see some of these power words, you're like, oh, I want to be hopeful. Oh, I also want to be celebratory. And I also want to be committed. And I also want to be focused, right? Because when you choose one word, you're basically like kind of giving up on the other words and it might make you kind of sad, right? And that's why it's okay to have a different word of the month every month or every week or every day or whatever it is that you're feeling. But in theory, like today is January 1st, whether or not is just for today for your planning session or just for this week or this month, try to pick something to like get you going. And so I had narrowed it down to 4 different ones to organize, because, and mostly this is in reaction to how 2021 was. And honestly, I just kind of let life happen. I wasn't organized. I didn't plan a single thing, and nothing happened as a result. And then I said intentional because same thing, because I was just kind of laissez-faire, c'est la vie. When something happened that ruined my schedule, which mostly this year, I don't know why. I was like super, super sick this year. But I would just say, well, forget it. Like I've been sick for 2.5 weeks. The month is pretty much over. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep Netflixing and just wait until the next month starts. And then same thing with discipline. So I mean, in theory, that's actually one of my top 10 Clifton strengths. And I didn't really do anything. So one part of discipline too is like if you get thrown off schedule, it takes you a long time to get back on schedule because you're just so like anal, I guess is the right word. Like when something goes wrong, you're just like, well, then forget it all, right? Like you can't adapt. I mean, I can't or adjust. And so I'm like with the end of the month, I'm like, well, just forget it. Like the whole month is gone, right? Instead of like trying to make the most of those last few days. And so I think, having more contingency plans would just help me to like focus in on that. And also done. I do suffer from procrastination and mostly because I have perfectionism. I don't know if anyone remembers Planner 101 is like by far the most popular course that I have. And I didn't launch it forever because I was trying to make it perfect and I was making it better. And so I had put the old Planner 101 on sale. And I was like, if you want it, you need to pay for it because the new free one is going to be so much better and so much more amazing. And it's almost like I had psyched myself out. And so when I did it, and then afterwards I was like, oh, that was awful. So I deleted it. And so I'm sure people were like, what happened to that Planner 101? I didn't make all the live sessions and now they're just gone. and it's because I deleted it because I was like, they're not good enough. They're not perfect. And so, for 2022, my new mantra now is done is better than perfect. And I'm just going to move on. Because otherwise, honestly, I like the slides for today. I could have worked on these for like another 3 months and still not have like been happy with them. And so that is the same thing that led me to having my new word of the year. So let me know too, like put in the comments, because I think it helps other people to see what your word of the year is. And again, don't worry about committing to it forever. Maybe you just commit to it for today, and maybe tomorrow when you wake up, something else happens or something new comes into your life and you feel completely different. So let us know what your word of the year is, and then I'll tell you mine. So where are you? That is Karen. Okay. Let me know your word of the year. Okay, we have bold, we have purpose, we have devoted, we have brave, we have consistency, productive, nice. We have confidence, we have committed. Oh, good one, Carol. We have published. Good for you. We have daring. Am I an Enneagram 5 or 6? I am not. I am an Enneagram 1, which I don't even know what that is. I actually don't even believe in the Enneagram. I know that sounds weird, but I am not. I think I've taken the test a few times. I'm usually a 1. Julie, simplify and legendary. Tracy has lean. Denise has surrender. Satisha has accomplished. Tamika has abundance. Karen has passionate. D has organized, and mindful with a purpose. Nice. I like that. You can do a phrase. That's really good. Just like mine, done is better than perfect. Chris, discipline, rating flexible. Lori, 1, it's kind of fun. Liz, INTJ here. I am also an INTJ. I don't remember what that means, but I am also that too. Oh, nice, Terry. Sparkle. Dawn, single tasking. Good. Dawn, I have a good book for you. Or Donna, I just bought the book Monotasking. I don't know. It was like a self-published, like it doesn't look that like jazzy and exciting, like the cover, but it was actually a really good book on monotasking. And not that there's anything wrong with self-publishing, because I am self-published, but just letting you know, it's not like someone like Seth Godin or something. Paula, focused. Carol, motto of the year is my dreams come true in 2022. I like that. And it rhymes. Okay. DJ here too. All right, let's get back to the slides, and I will tell you the word I ended up selecting, which is not any of the words that I had narrowed it down to. So my word of the year is executing. And the reason I chose that is because I just want to be always like, am I executing? I don't want to be researching. I don't want to be thinking. I don't want to be learning. I mean, I do, but I want to mostly be focused on executing, like every idea I have, every project, every plan, every dream. And so I think by putting myself into execution mode, I will get rid of procrastination perfection mode, right? Like, am I putting something out there? Am I creating new content? Am I sharing things with people? Because the thing is, no matter how wonderful or perfect my next course is, it will never be as great as the 12 courses somebody else already put out there for people last year that they can start using, they can start learning from, and they can also just give you feedback so you can improve on it next time, right? So, thinking that you need to put something out there that is forever done is silly, right? So people update things all the time. People revise books all the time. Even fiction books, they're like, a new update's been put out. Like, I get those little notifications on my Kindle. I don't usually go back and read them because I've like already read a fiction book. But for nonfiction, I will definitely go back. I'll say, wow, I wonder what the update is, right? Like the world is changing, the market's changed. Maybe they have some more insight in how to do Facebook ads or how to get more organic traffic on social media. Not that I'm on social media, but just using that as an example. So that's my word. It's also my word because, as you know, I love the Clifton Strengths personality exam. And this is my, like, when you take there's 34 strengths. So just so you know, you have all the strengths. So don't feel like I don't have the other strengths. Like, everybody has all of the strengths, but you just have more of them, like you exemplify or are just naturally like able to, I guess, uh, be happier with some of the strengths than others. And so you can see all of mine are blue at the bottom, the relationship building skills. And I think that's why, I don't know if you guys know this, I had put together two communities this year. One was Mighty Networks for Planner Academy. And first of all, most people just didn't go to the new platform. Second, nobody was really interacting. And I think that's largely because relationship building is just not one of my strengths, right? Like, I am not a Girl Scout troop leader. I am not, president of the social club, right? So that's just not one of my strengths. Now, is is executing one of my strengths? Yes, it actually is. They're all kind of at the top. So I picked everything that's considered an executing strength, right? Consistency, achiever, focus, discipline, and I just highlighted them. And so for me, all of those strengths, which I feel like I already have, I'm just going to kind of lean into those more and try to work on those. So that's also another reason I picked executing. Now, in your workbook, I also suggested, just like I can't remember who, someone had a phrase, I think to help solidify it, because again, like I said, if you ask me in February, I will definitely forget. I'm not going to remember. So to help solidify it, I think you need mantras. I think you need self affirmations. And I think you need maybe a quote or a catchphrase, right? And things that send to yourself. So, ClickUp is amazing. So ClickUp, you can program all of these in there and just send yourself emails like every day and just reshuffle these, right? And then you can get like a little self-coaching from yourself to yourself that, maybe my coaching thing for the day is I get a self-affirmation that says, I am a person who gets things done. The next day, I'll get another one that says, I am in control of my life. The next one I get says, I think it, I do it, I achieve it, right? So and everyone has different self affirmations and different mantras to go with their word of the year, things to like help them get going. And so, you could pay for a coach and that would be great and wonderful. But you could also, there's a lot of things I feel like you can do to coach yourself. And there are things that you can do to pep yourself up, right? There is more information available now than there ever was. A huge thing that I do not at all believe in is that old phrase that you are like the five people you spend the most time with. I think that is complete and total garbage. Now, maybe that was true in the 1940s or the 1950s when people had really small circles of groups of friends. Air travel, car travel wasn't that readily available. Knowledge wasn't available, but you could surround yourself with tons of gurus on YouTube, tons of advice from other people. And there's I have a lot of friends who do tons of different things. I'm not exactly like them, even though we spend tons of time together. I also have other friends who are like my friend Sarah is an Ironman, and she loves doing Ironmans. She loves doing marathons just for fun. We're together literally 24/7 all the time when I was in Chicago, and I never once considered running. Like not even a mile. So I don't believe at all that just being around people is going to make you just like them. Again, maybe in the old days, and that's usually the people that are either saying it or people who are repeating it because they heard that advice. But you can just, again, pull together your own kind of support team. And that's also why the second thing I did was the dream team. Oh, Thursday was declutter, but we'll skip over to dream team. So on Friday, I said, just pick some people that you think embody the traits that you want to emulate, right? And it doesn't have to be like usually in the past, people were like, they would pick one person, right? And they'd be like, Beyonce, because she's so successful and she's great with family and she's I don't know, rich, or she always looks put together, right? You don't have to pick one person and hope that they have a bunch of perfect traits. You can pick a ton of different people and put those together as kind of like your advisory board or people you want to look up to and study, but just maybe for one particular niche. So let me know, did that help anybody? Did anybody let me know who's on your advisory board and put it in the comments. And while you're doing that, I'll tell you why I selected everyone. I think there's a confidence, executing Lori, stability for Karen. Julie, have you taken Clifton Strings more than once? I have not, only because I just took it in 2019. So I don't think it's changed a lot, like in those 2 years, especially because of COVID. I really haven't gone anywhere or done anything or been exposed to any new things. So I'm kind of the same person, I think, that I was in 2019. It could be different for others. It's just, I kind of feel like that's the case for me. But let me go you through my role models and let me know who yours are in the comments. But I picked Holly Pixel. Holly and I are actually friends. I think she's amazing. And so this year, so if you're on her mailing list, Holly recently, she used to do a ton of digital planners. And she actually wiped all of those out of her business, like totally. She like loved digital planners so much that she like made new templates every month. She made things for digital planners. And then she also had a ton of designers working under her making digital planner templates for her. In fact, she had invited me to make digital planner templates for her, like, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, it was on the list. It was definitely like, I put it on the list, but I hadn't done it. And now I've like waited. And this is what happens too with a lot of opportunities. If you just don't do them before you're ready and you like do them before they're perfect, you're going to miss out, right? Like I totally missed out. Holly has closed the shop down. Like it has been so long that I've been waiting to perfect my digital planning skills that she has actually shut down that whole business. So anyways, what Holly is really great at is illustration. She could just freehand draw the cutest things, like a little girl carrying a wagon. She can do flowers. She can do a house. She can do a scenery. She can do Christmas. She can do snow globes, right? Like anything she wants to draw. Not only can she just draw it extremely well, it's super cute. And it's one of those things like when you see some of those illustrations on Etsy, you're like, I wish I could draw just like that. And that's kind of how I feel about Holly. And so when I think about all of the designs that I want to put out in the future, I would like to put designs out just like Holly, where they're like fabulous and you're like, oh, I so wish I could make that. And so that's one of the people on my role model board. The second one is Tila Cunningham, and she has a channel or company called Every Tuesday. I don't know why it's Tuesdays. I think it's because the Rising Tide used to have a weekly meeting every Tuesday, I'm guessing. And that was kind of coincides with, I guess, creativity and creative entrepreneurs. But anyways, Tila is really great at tech tutorials. And specifically, I've been trying to learn Procreate on the iPad and just get better at it to do word art. And so I had purchased like 4 or 5 different word lettering programs, and all of them were kind of like meh, or they seem to like be talking a lot. But at the end of it, I was like, I'm still so confused. I don't know what's going on. I can't draw a letter to save my life. But when I took Tila's class, I was like, oh, this totally makes sense. Not only is she quick and to the point, but she also throws in some helpful tips there. And she also seems to like know what she's talking about, where afterwards you're like, I will take any course from her because she is efficient and she's knowledgeable and I really like it. So when I think about creating my own tech tutorials for InDesign or for planners or for wedding invitations or calligraphy or anything else, I would like to emulate that style. So that's the second person on my board. The third person is Holly Ann Airy, and she is mostly on OnlyFans now. I'm not on there. I think the OnlyFans stuff is more like sexy things. Anyways, like I said, you don't have to like everything about a person, but the reason I really like Holly is because she's also Korean and she has the same problem I have, which is monolids. If you don't know what monolids are, it is specific to Asians where for whatever reason, your eyelid folds under your eye and not like regular. It's hard to describe if you've never seen it. But basically, when I put eyeliner on the base of my eyelid and I open my eye, you can't see it. So my eyeliner on my eye is like 4 times thicker than like anybody else's eyeliner because I have a monolid. And when I open my eyes, my eyelid folds under and you can't see it. So anyways, that is someone I would like to emulate for makeup skills. If you've seen me, like, especially on these vlogs lately, it's first time ever I've finally gotten comfortable with doing vlogs without makeup because I'm kind of like, you know what? Done is better than perfect. And if I have to put on perfect makeup every day, one, I'm not very good at it. Two, it also just takes up a lot of time and prevents me from making videos. So the fourth thing is, like, if you see me doing makeup, people will say all the time on my videos, like, you're so blown out, the lights are too bright. And I'm like, you know what? My makeup is so awful. I have to put the lights on really bright, and it really helps because then you can't really see how bad the eyeshadow and everything else is. And I don't even wear like makeup, if that makes sense. I only wear eye makeup. Like, I don't put anything on my skin. Sometimes I remember to wear lipstick, but otherwise it's just my eyes. So anyways, so that's somebody, her makeup is always flawless and like looks perfect every day. And for sure, she has fake eyelashes on every day, which I feel for her. For anyone who has fake eyelashes, Sarah Cannon the other day, she's an author tuber. She was on doing, I think, her year-end whatever review. And I felt for her because I saw her eyelashes falling off. And that happened to me, I think, 2 years ago when I was doing like an author business planning live stream. I went back and I looked at the footage and I was like, yeah, my eyelash was like half off the whole time. So now when I do live streams, I don't even bother with the eyelashes because inevitably they're probably going to fall. So what was my point? I think I was just saying, yeah, I felt for her because I was like, she can't see it. She's going on live. She's just going full steam. The eyelash is falling out. I know how that feels. This is the only man on my dream team. I think because I mostly identify with like female role models, but I really love his positive energy. Joel Osteen, and like he just always inspires hope, right? And I know that some people like are anti Joel Osteen, but it doesn't matter. I really like listening to all of his messages. And, whenever I need to pep me up, I will listen to one of his sermons, whatever it is. And so I just want to be somebody who is, when you think of them, you're like, I want to go to Lisa for advice. I would love to go to her YouTube channel because she's going to spread like hope. She's going to motivate me. I'm going to feel encouraged. And that's also like I always say on my channel, I never really like throw shade on anyone. I mean, there are definitely products that I don't like that I'm totally honest about, but just people in general, I just don't think, and I know sometimes they get more views, and I've talked about this a lot, like when you start a YouTube channel, that's a totally different part of YouTube, and that's okay if you want to be like that. But I would rather just stay on the up and up and be on the super happy, positive side. So the last two, Cassie Ho is the Blogilates girl. I feel like she's pretty popular. Everyone seems to know her. But I really just like that she always prioritizes health, flexibility, nutrition. And yes, that is her full-time job and her full-time focus. But in general, I think it just helps to know that no matter what I'm doing, I never do anything that, would compromise my health, I guess. So a lot of writers, I was always giving the advice, like, as soon as you wake up, start writing. And I was like, I will never, ever, 1,000% ever do that. I don't care how badly I have to write or what the deadline is, because for me, I like working out the first thing when I wake up in the morning. And it just seems counterintuitive to me, and this is just me personally. I'm not judging anybody else who does this, but it seems counterintuitive to be asleep all day, all night. And then prior to that, I was having dinner and then watching TV and then wake up just to sit some more, right? So like I want to get up, I want to get moving. And plus I like my hair, for whatever reason, is like wavy now, and not like a wavy I like. So I do have to blow dry it. So it's nice for me to like be able to work out in the morning, and I'm definitely a sweater, and then I can just blow dry my hair and it's done for the day, right? Instead of like trying to work out later. And plus, honestly, I'm worried that I might lose the will to work out if I don't do it like the very second that I wake up. That was all I had to say about that. I actually have a really good video coming out tomorrow. I had runner's knee earlier this year, like a total lock knee. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's because you took up running recently. That's not true. It's before I took up running. I got runner's knee from excessive amounts of sitting. And I think it's because, with COVID and everything shut down. And, honestly, I didn't make an effort to get up and walk and like go in the neighborhood or run air. I didn't make an effort to do anything. Instead, I just like sat there for like extended periods of time. And because I work from home, I didn't even notice. And so I got I just got my knee locked out. And so I went to the doctor and she's like, you have runner's knee. But she was also like, I think it's also because you've gained weight. And so she's like, you need to lose 40 pounds. Cause that's the amount of weight I had gained since like I originally started seeing her a couple years ago, and she's like, well, everyone's gaining weight because of COVID, but it's obviously affecting your health if you have like runner's knee and your knees locked out, like you can't walk, right? So I was like, well, that's fair, right? She didn't say I was fat. There was no fat shaming. There was like nothing negative. She was just like, I think it would help your knee if you lost some weight because it would take pressure off of it. So I tried so many different things. So I have a video coming out tomorrow. It's all slides. It's only like 30 minutes, but I went through like 12 different weight loss videos, or programs, not TV shows, books. I did 3 different fitness, like weight loss apps. And I tried out 2 fitness influencers just based, like most people, on how they looked. I was like, they look pretty ripped and pretty in shape. I'll just go ahead and take their advice and see how that works. So you can definitely get all of that information tomorrow. All of the slides will be inside of Goal Getters. So I'm only putting the slides in the Goal Getters group. But yeah, then you can see, like, you can try things out yourself too. Like, just because intermittent fasting didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. So, but I did share like how much weight I lost or didn't lose on each of those different programs. All right. So, and then my last person is Elle Woods. Like I said, you don't need to have real people. They can be make-believe people. There's like tons of make-believe characters that I just love and think are amazing and awesome. And I think the best line she ever said was, I don't need backups. I'm going to Harvard, right? When she was meeting with the guidance counselor. And I just really want to have more like that ultra self-confidence. Not like I have to question it or I have to think about it. Like, it's just a no-brainer. Like, it's going to work out. And so I think that would be helpful. So let me know who your superstar people are. Let's see. Did anyone put anybody in? I have Holly's digital planner course. Paula, yeah, it's great. Pat, I refer to my advisory board as my Elizabeths because I know they'll support me and give me info that will aid me in achieving my goal. And Tracy, my word is survive. Next year I can use the word thrive. Liz, I love lip gloss and balms. I had lash extensions for a while and love them. I've been too scared to do fake eyelashes, think they'll fall off or into my eyeballs. It does happen. I tried the magnetic ones, bad decision. Yeah, the magnetic ones did not work for me at all. Some of my friends were like, they work perfect for me. I'm like, we have different eyes. Cavern. I love Casey. Liz, I have to write first thing in the morning because the longer the day goes, the less motivated I'm doing anything. My boyfriend is the exact opposite of that. Lori, my nickname is Elle. My person is longer alive. Kobe Bryant. My other one is Betty White. Aw. I am a certified StoryGrid editor. So Sean Coyne. Awesome. Okay. So it looks like a lot of you guys didn't put together, you guys had word of the year, but maybe not an advisory board. That's okay. We'll just move on. So what did I have next? And we are only, just so you know, we're on slide 25. I have 100 and some slides here. I think only 100. So don't get too afraid. And the other ones will go much faster. That's why I said 2 hours. I don't even want to lie and say it's going to be an hour. All right. Oh, the Pro Mouse. So the Pro Mouse, this was just a random fun tip I wanted to give you. So if anybody else is like me and you were thinking about doing tutorials, I love the Pro Mouse. I don't know if you can see, I just turned it on. It's purple. It like highlights stuff. It also does this thing when I do, if I hold the control button down, it makes everything else dark and it just does a little spotlight on one thing. And that helps a lot when you're teaching a class. Remember I said I wanted to get better at tutorials? I actually didn't learn this from Teala Cunningham. I saw this from somebody else doing this. So the other thing too is with the Pro Mouse, you can also hit the function key and it will magnify text for you. So sometimes in the menu, there are things that are really small and then you can like magnify them. So where do you get this? You can actually just get this on the, what do you call it? The Mac store. So if you have a Mac, and I apologize if you have a PC, I don't know the solution for a PC, but if you have a Mac, you can use this on a Mac, but we'll turn this off because we don't really need it for right now. And let's go back. All right. I think it was like, yeah, it's not that expensive. It was $3.99. So It's a small investment. Okay, so now we're actually going to get into the agenda for today. So that's why I know I do a lot of talking just on the emails that I sent. So housekeeping is done. Hooray. Giveaway number one is done. We're going to talk about problems and solutions. We're going to do giveaway number two. We're going to talk about the doable dozen method. We're going to do giveaway number three, which is the dual tip pens. We're going to talk about 2021 year in review, which is going to be super short. Like last year, I had so many things to talk about. But like I said, there's really nothing to talk about for this year. I have a special offer for you, and then giveaway number four, which is a surprise. All right. So I don't know why I hit the escape key. Let's go into this. So it's the same problem that I talked about last year, which is that the year is just too long. And just like I said, I always forget my word of the year by the time February hits. People are like, what's your word of the year? I was so excited about it. I like talked about it so much. February 1 hits. I couldn't even tell you what the word of the year is for any of the years. So, you know, again, just having annualized planning is just a little crazy. It's just like saying, by whenever people ask about 5 and 10 year plans, I'm like, there's no way you can do a 5 and 10 year plan. Like, it's just not going to happen. And it almost like validates your procrastination, which again, I am like, so like excited about anything that helps me procrastinate. You know how you're like, oh, I have to do whatever. I have to get ready for so and so's wedding, but you're like, oh, that's so far away. I'm not even going to think about that. And so, I think having like quicker deadlines, having monthly deadlines is like something that's way better. And just so you know, I know because it's that year end time, and I don't know why this is a pet peeve of mine, but I cannot stand how everyone keeps throwing around this stupid statistic about Harvard grads. It is a fake study. This is a fake statistic. It is not true. It is totally made up. And I don't know why people keep repeating it. So just want to throw that out there in case you look at the stat or you hear somebody else saying it, you can let them know it's a fake study. And again, you're not a fortune teller, so you just don't know what's going to happen. And so, planning out a year, 5 years, or 10 years is kind of like just silly to me because there are so many things going on. And not just COVID, right? So, who knew that it would continue throughout the whole year? In fact, here in California, everyone has to wear masks. They mandated masks again. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing or not helpful. But yeah, it's kind of just who knew that it would still continue? The other thing is I had more sick days than ever, which is really odd because I honestly was planning to get rid of cyclic vomiting syndrome like yesterday, right? So I did a video, I think it was like Wednesday of this week, where I talked about how all the different medications I've taken, all the different things you can try. And I thought I kind of like had a handle on it, right? I've been taking cyproheptadine for a while now, and that definitely helped with my symptoms. But for whatever reason this year, and I think it's possibly like a combination of COVID was so extended and doing like lots of hardcore exercises like really helps me. Like, so even though, it would help my writing, it like my actual, not even like weight loss, like my physical health would like suffer significantly if I didn't do cardio like every single day. And so with the gyms closed, again, I didn't really make an effort. So it's really my fault. I didn't make an effort to go running. I didn't make an effort to try to go hiking. And I don't really have an excuse because we're in California. It's not like it's cold. And, I've lived in the Midwest where it's so bitterly cold. It's icy, it's snowy. Like no one's going outside to exercise, right? Unless it's shoveling snow. So I kind of just like I said, I kind of just let life happen. And then I was trying all these random different diets, which I think also screwed up a lot of things. And as a result, I just got really, really sick this last year. So I didn't plan for that. I honestly, just like any other sickness, you kind of just feel like it's going to progressively get better. Mine actually got worse. So, and then I had writer's block, and I really just kind of figured out also that I don't want to write cozy mysteries. I really thought I wanted to write cozy mysteries, but I want to write like hardcore, gritty mysteries, more thrillers. And so again, it took me a long time to kind of like figure that out. So all the assumptions that you're making for whatever, for the year, for the quarter, like the further out you go, the less predictable your life is going to be. So that's why I think monthly is the best, because one, you're going with the natural rhythm of like life, right? You don't have to, like, the problem with the 90-day year, which I know a lot of people like, is that 90 days is like a fake arbitrary deadline, right? And you have to number down the calendar to say week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way to week 12. And, whatever given day, you're like, I don't know, what week am I on? Like, am I in the middle? Am I towards the end? Versus a month automatically tells you, like, today is January 1st. You are on the first day of the month. Next week, it will be January, 8th. You are on the 8th day of the month. You can easily, and I am awful at math, but if you follow the monthly rhythm, you know exactly how many days are left in the month. And for most of us, either your rent is usually due on the first of the month. I know a lot of you own homes and have mortgages, but usually the rent is due on the first of the month. And even before that, I'm sure you had an apartment where you paid rent. And it's kind of just natural to always think about something due on the first of the month or by the end of the month. So that's why I said the doable dozen makes things much more doable and makes things way easier. Like, why try to fight it and why try to make up all these fake systems when you can just use the one that's already built in there for you? So what's the solution, which I've kind of already said, is really just to have 30-day like increments of doing one specific thing. So like I said before, everyone was putting out their year-end like recaps. Like right now, I'm sure you're on the mailing list of a ton of different people that are like, I did this in February, and then in March, May we moved, and then in June we had a baby, and then in July we bought a second house or whatever, right? So all of those people did things in monthly increments. And I think that's why they were so much more successful. Is two things. They tried to do just one thing for the month, and they worked with the natural rhythm of just going with the world, which the whole world, everywhere you go, uses I think it's the Gregorian calendar or whatever. So you never have to worry about like trying to follow something artificial like the 12-week year. So this is what we had last year. So I think what you want to do is you want to put together a wish list, just like you did last year, right? Like all the projects that you want to do, all the things that you want to accomplish, and then put them into a monthly plan. So month end is your deadline, and each month you're just going to do one thing. So what is that one thing you want to do? I really think that you should use the decision matrix, which I had one. If you're in the author resource library, there's the story decision matrix. And it basically just says, okay, what do I want to do? Well, how easy is it for me to do it? Like, is it on a scale of 1 to 10? I already know everything, like calculus based problem. I'm actually good at calculus. I know that sounds like odd because I don't like math, but I'm actually really good at calculus. But if it's statistics, I'm horrible at statistics and it will take me forever. So it like definitely is a 1 versus calculus is a 10. Is it something that will have a big impact? Like something where if someone said, how was your January? You can say, I wrote a book. Like, how great is that, right? Then that's a 10 for you. Or you can say, I put out another planner template. That's a 10 for me, right? So think about like what the impact is. And then there's a couple other things like, are different factors going to affect it? Does it have to be done right now? And then you should come up with a total score for each of your projects. And then based on that, in theory, all the projects that score the highest score should be in chronological order. The one with a 100 score should be in January. The one with a 90 score should be done in February. The one with 80 should be done in March. And so you kind of just go down the list. And then by the time December hits, you're done with your list. And if there's other extra activities you want to do, then you can just kind of move things up. If you're like super efficient and you're finishing things like in the first week of January, then go ahead and just move the schedule up and add a second task to January. So hopefully that's like self-explanatory, but just kind of lay out a calendar in front of you and just kind of write over each day, like the things that you want to do. So it's not that hard. Like just what are your top 12 projects that you want to do? And again, just list out everything that you could possibly want to do and then plug them into the different months. And sometimes different months make sense for different people, right? So if you have children, maybe, June, July, and August are just about summer vacation and reconnecting with your children. And that's your top accomplishment for that month. And when they go back to school in September, then you're going to work hardcore on, finishing your book or starting your new business or creating, a new life in a new state or something. You're going to move everybody. So again, because we've had so much uncertainty lately, I just want to make one small note about COVID. And not that it's not important and not that it's not something that we should minimize, but I think, and I've seen a lot of my friends just really struggle with this, but my advice is to accept it, adjust yourself, and then just keep moving forward. I've had friends where like their life has come to a halt because they're like watching the news 24/7. They're super upset about things. They're angry. They're frustrated. They're sad. They're depressed. And not that any of these feelings aren't valid or they're not okay to have, but it's been 2 years almost now, and so I think we're at the point now that you should just keep moving, whether that means, just kind of making peace with it, right? So I always use my friend Jen as an example. So my friend Jen from college, whom I love, hates fiction in all forms, right? She's like, I can't believe she was dating this guy. She's like, he's watching a movie, and I thought he was the biggest moron in the world. I was like, why would you think he's dumb? She's like, I was trying to watch the movie with him and I just thought, here I am crying during this movie, getting all upset over this fake person. It's not even real. So in her mind, she's like, these are wasted emotions on people that don't matter. And my friend Jen is one of those people. She's like a do-gooder. She wants to save the world. She worked for environmental groups and has done marches and like all of those things. And that's wonderful. But to her, unless it like helps people, it's a waste of time. And so I just use that as an example because sometimes, you can't change things, right? You can't get rid of COVID. I don't know. Maybe you're a scientist or a doctor and you are working on that. But for the rest of us, you can't really change the situation, right? I can't change that there is a mask mandate in California right now. I can't change that, you need a vaccination to go to certain hotels, right? So instead of getting frustrated by it and things that you cannot change, just like make peace with it and just make adjustments, whether that means you're going to get another booster shot or you're going to mask up 24/7 or you're just going to stay home and not go out. Do what makes you feel good with the current state of the world so that you aren't spending like wasted energy and emotion on things that unfortunately maybe you can't really change. And so I think that will help you if you are somebody who is struggling with that, to kind of like accept the world as it is and kind of keep going. So that's all I had to say about that. If you guys have any other advice for people that you want to give, definitely let us know in the comments. But, if you're worrying, and I know worrying just happens all the time, whether there is COVID going on or there is not COVID going on. But I always really like these books from Dale Carnegie to just kind of, have, again, like kind of self-coach yourself. BetterHelp is out there. It is an app on your phone if you want to talk to someone about any of the things that you're worried about. But, most of us have, and even I do, negative thoughts all the time. And so, just the brain is hardwired to think negatively. I don't know why that is. I guess it's like survival mode to help ensure that you're thinking of all possible survival scenarios. But you also then recall insults more quickly than you do positive things. And that's why I said, and click up with all those self-affirmations and those mantras, program those to like actually force yourself to remember positive things and like think like encouraging thoughts for yourself. And, it's almost like faking it until you make it. So, knowing that your brain naturally has negative thoughts and then it naturally remembers them and like solidifies that into your memory, you have to always actively be working to counteract that. And as you know, I'm not really like one of those touchy-feely, like people with those things, but definitely I see that every day happening. And so I think you can do things that kind of help you especially if you have anxiety. And I know anxiety is still like at an all-time high right now with everybody for whatever reason. And I think just doing stuff and getting more active and like like actively trying to combat that is definitely going to make a difference and kind of help. So like I said, more doing, less thinking, and it's really going to, I think, propel you forward. I don't know why this says problem number one. This is just another problem that I've seen is like a lot of times with all of the advice being given out there right now for year-end planning is one size fits all, right? Like my way or the highway. And just like I always say, like take whatever advice you want from me or ignore the ones that you think are dumb. Totally fine with that. And I think you should. And just more importantly, because I always say, you know, I love the Clifton strings, just work on things that like resonate with you and work on things that make you more productive and make you more confident. And, you know, when you're going around, and I'm sure you'll probably, because I know you're all type A achievers, and that's why you're here. You know, people who are giving advice on your end and things to do, you know, again, just kind of say, I kind of like that advice that so works. I think that's great. Or that's kind of dumb. I'm not going to do that. I don't care what they've said. Just like that Harvard study that is fake. You just don't know what information out there is kind of fake. Like it's a great thing that we have so much information, but it's also kind of a curse because no one's doing any fact checking, right? Like before with traditional books, like only certain things got put in print. Like there was a lot of double checking of facts and figures, but now like there's just tons of information out there. So always double check. So I actually found a new personality test that I really like, which is funny because I always talk about Clifton Strengths, but Gretchen Rubin. I've never heard of this person. She has been, I guess, pretty popular for like a few years now. She has this book called The Four Tendencies. And the Four Tendencies, so everybody, no matter what, and you can take this quiz for free on her website, has one of these tendencies in their personality. You are, and I think this would really help you too with like how you adhere to and stick to goals. If you are an obliger, you are someone that likes outer expectations. So you need like outside pressure, right? So you need to declare your goals to somebody and you need someone to be expecting them, right? Same thing with the upholder. And then other people, the questioner really needs to do a lot of research. And then once they're fully convinced that this is something worthwhile doing and a task that totally makes sense, then they can kind of motivate themselves to go. Unfortunately, I am a rebel. So when I took the test, there's like this funny statement about rebels that says, you can't make me and neither can I. So for whatever reason, rebels do not like doing anything that they're told to do, even if they tell themselves they want to do it, right? So rebels, though, if this is you, I did some more research into this. The best way to actually get goals done and meet deadlines and do projects is to identify with that. And so that's why I said put mantras together, self-affirmation. So by saying, like, through your identity, I am somebody who gets things done. As a rebel, I will get things done. And it's not because someone else is expecting it or I'm expecting it. It's just because that's the kind of person I am. That's who I am. That's how I identify. And that's just what I'm going to do because I'm a rebel and I'm just going to be who I am. So I have to like do tricks to tell myself that's who I am. I'm someone who gets things done. So I'm just throwing this out there because I know I talk about Clifton Strengths all the time, but I kind of found this fascinating, the Four Tendencies and exactly, you know, what that meant in terms, it really was talking about in terms of goals. Now, I will say, if you really like this book, she has a couple other books, which honestly really weren't worth reading. So, I did a whole thing on habits books and a review on that that I will send you a link to later. I'll make a note on the habits. And because I was like, how do people get habits and become more productive and more efficient? And this was one of the books that I'd read. So all right, so let's get into the steps for the wish list. So you'll recognize this from last year is to create your annual wish list. And so there's space in your book to, and I said, choose your own, right? So I put learning in there, creating, achieving, but you can do whatever areas you want to focus on and whatever. And I said, you know, how important is it to you? Like I'm already helping you with like prioritizing. Is it on a scale 1 to 10, right? And so these are just the ones that I have. You can always add more to your wish list. And again, this is just kind of helping you narrow down the projects you want to work on, the things that you want to be spending your time on for 2022. But sometimes, I don't know about you, I do still find time where I'm like, I'm kind of bored. I have some downtime. I'm not really sure what I should be working on. Or it's not even like bored. Sometimes I'm just in between tasks, right? And because I'm not focused, right? Like I don't have that monthly focus, I'm not really sure what I should be working on. And so I just kind of check my email, I do some research, some ad comes up on Instagram, I buy that course. I don't even know. Like it's just this last year, I can't even tell you like how out of control, like unproductive it has been. So anyways, cupcakes. There's just cupcakes because I like cupcakes. I just want to let you know, like I said before, there's no rules. You make your own rules. This is your 2022 plan. This is just kind of my suggestion on how I'm doing mine. So, let's see. Let me check the comments really quick. Oh, questioner. Chrissy, I'm a questioner. Lori, I'm probably a questioner, but obliging resonates too. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's really great. Okay. So 2022 learning. I love learning. I love learning so much that I have to like cut myself off. I will actually buy courses. There's this weird phenomenon too. I don't know if anybody else has this. I was talking to Nikki Haverstock the other day, who clearly does not have this problem. She was like, I don't understand how people are buying stuff and then never take the course. Like, that's a lot of money. I was like, that is me. I was like, I totally do that. There's this weird thing where like just buying the course makes me feel better. Even though I haven't opened the course or taken any of the lessons, I do definitely suffer from that. I am like every online course creator's dream customer, right? Like they just need to flash an ad before me and I'm like, I will buy this course. And now I feel like an expert, even though I have not opened the course. So anyways, these are just courses that I have already purchased. So word art. So last year I said I wanted to do illustrations like the one on the left. I bought so many courses on Photoshop, on illustrating, on painting hair, and I didn't take any of those. I like looked at a couple and I was like, whoa, this is so hard and so boring. Like it was like, it's like the ultimate combination of like how you are not going to finish a course. One, it's like really difficult. And two, it is like so going to put you to sleep. And so I didn't do them. So I this year have accepted the fact that I am not going to be an illustrator. I will not be able to create the things on the left because clearly I am not interested in doing the hard work required to do that. But it's good that I tried because now I know. So, but things that I do like is word art. I love doing calligraphy. So I mentioned that one of my gurus is Tila Cunningham because she has such great Procreate lessons. So I bought some Procreate lessons from her on 3D. I'm doing GIFs on RetroSign. So I'm really excited about doing word art. In case you're wondering, there was another woman. So I actually presented this year at the Adobe Max conference. And I looked at some of the other speakers and there was one that had like just beautiful word art, right? And I was like, wow, she is so talented. She must be making bank, right? And so she had done a blog post where she's like, after working super hard, I now make 30,000 a year. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think that is like minimum. That's not even minimum wage here in California. And I'm not making fun of her, but I am just putting that out as a caveat in case anyone else is like, word art sounds like something great. Lisa's doing that. I am just doing that for fun. It is definitely not something that you can take to the bank and make money with. It is just like a fun hobby. So, is it high on the priority list? Not really, but it's high on the fun list. So, just throwing that out there. Now, what I do think is profitable is making websites. So I have used WordPress and Divi pretty much my entire online life for the last like 5 or 6 years. And it's like, I'm comfortable with it. I know how to use it, but I want to move to Squarespace. I've looked at Showit. I've looked at Wix. I've looked at, what are the other popular ones? Whatever else is out there. I can't, not Divi. It is another builder. But anyways, I've decided that Squarespace is where it's at. And that's what I'm going to learn how to do. I'm going to learn some CSS. I'm going to learn some JavaScript. I'm going to learn how to use Adobe XD and Figma. And I said this last year, but that was really for WordPress and CSS. I'm going to go really hardcore on Squarespace this year. So that is definitely on the list. And that is also something I think if I get good at, I could be profitable. However, we all know I am not good at relationship building. And I know for a fact I do not like doing one-on-one work. So that is probably not something that I am going to offer as a service. In case you're like, I can't wait for Lisa to build my website. It probably won't happen. But I will be able to definitely do that for myself. So iPad Procreate, I already mentioned that. I do think I can create stickers, like word art stickers. And in the past, I've always said, like, I can't illustrate. Well, it's still true today. I still cannot illustrate. And so a lot of the stickers are like things that my friend Holly makes, which are really cute. And because I can't illustrate, I haven't been able to make stickers, but I can learn how to make word art to make sticker templates. So that is something I do want to do. That was a lot of time on learning. Okay, so the next one is creating. I still want to create card decks, and I've looked into this. You can use other designs that are out there on Etsy as long as you use a license and you check with them beforehand. And it's just not something I've done because I've always been like, I'm going to create something magical like this drawing on the left, which again cost, I think, like $400 or $500 to have made. So it's not realistic that I'm going to pay $15,000 to have a card deck made of illustrations. So I'm going to just go with what is already out there, since I am obviously not going to learn how to do this skill. So that is also something on the creation list for this year still. Same thing with fonts. Again, letters. I just love doing letters, pop-up shop templates, all the same things as before. Wish list achieving. So I would really like to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. YouTube is like one of those things. The reason I'm still on that platform, even though I gave up all the other platforms, is I genuinely love doing YouTube. And you get more bang for your buck. So I'm so lucky that YouTube is something I love and that does so well, because I still haven't learned how to do paid ads, which is honestly 99.9% of how everybody else I know online gets business, gets referrals, gets customers, and I just don't do it. And I haven't had to because I've been doing YouTube. So I would like to spend more time like doing higher quality videos and putting more content out on YouTube this year, even if that means that I will not look perfect on camera every day. I will probably show up like this with my glasses and without eyelashes. And that for me will get the videos done in half the time. I don't know why. For the last literally like 6 years, I've always been like, I cannot make a video unless I have eyelashes on. And so you'll notice like the videos where I don't have eyelashes on, I like apologize to everybody on camera. I'm like, I'm so sorry that I look this way. I'm so sorry that I have glasses on, which is kind of silly because there are tons of great people out there doing wonderful videos who are not super glammed up. And I don't know, I wonder if it's because I started a beauty channel or maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know which one it is. But again, my new mantra, done is better than perfect. So it's more important for me, again, to get content out there instead of looking as glamorously beautiful as I can for a tech tutorial video, right? Okay, I still want a puppy. Realistically, though, I will probably have to buy a house first. So this is like, again, a wish list. I really don't want things. I think everyone knows this. I'm a super minimalist. For Christmas, I did no decorations. We just had the 3 stockings that we already own that I put up on the Christmas or on the fireplace mantle. But when I think about things that I want to purchase, I really would love a puppy, specifically a cute little blue or chocolate Doberman puppy. So that is on my wish list. Finishing. I would love to finish my books. Last year I was like, I had like so many books. This year I've like narrowed it down to 3. And again, the books are, if we talk about revenue, like I was saying, the word art is not profitable. Books for me are not profitable. AuthorTube was not profitable. BookTube was not profitable. And being an author and publishing books has also not been profitable for me. So, you know, when we talk about like the $50 in Starbucks gift cards that I gave, or $60 I gave out this morning, I don't even make that much in months sometimes from my books. So I can't even like treat other people to Starbucks with the money that I have from my books. So is this really important? Probably not this year. Books are definitely going to take a downside. And I think because I was thinking about books as like a revenue line last year, I didn't get any books written because I was like totally psyching myself out to write the perfect book. And so this year it's kind of like, it's going to be like the word art. Anything that makes less than 50,000 this year is a hobby and nothing more, or has the potential to make less than 50,000. Sugar. I'm still trying to eliminate sugar and I'm doing the 80-20 rule. So, when it talks about eliminating stuff, I think you should also think about eliminating, toxic people from your life. I'm actually really good at that to the point where I don't have a ton of acquaintances. I have a very tiny, tiny, small circle of friends. And it's made all the difference. And at first I used to be sad, like thought I needed quantity over quality, and that's not really true at all. You are better off just having no one to talk to, like at all, like going on to BetterHelp or something else like that, than having toxic people in your life. So that's all I'll say about that. You know who they are. And, the thing is, not everybody is 100% like evil or awful. Usually what happens is you have friends that are acquaintances or family members that are like 50% good, 50% not great. And you're like, well, they're not perfect. They're just people. And so you keep these people in your life. And 50% of the time, they're like ruining your life. They're ruining your productivity. They're bringing you down. And remember, you already have 80% of your brain all by itself is already thinking negative thoughts. So you don't want to like reinforce that or have other people like bringing you down. So you always need to try to like keep yourself up. As far as sugar, I do notice that I feel worse when I eat sugar. No surprise. I have gotten rid of all added sugar. So right now I just do honey, I do maple syrup, and I do what else? Do I do anything else? Honey, maple syrup. Agave makes me sick, even though it sounds natural. Stevia makes me sick. I'll do another video on food allergies in case anyone's interested in that, because I've like done a lot of extensive research this year because I've been so sick. But yeah, those are pretty much the only sugars. Oh, coconut sugar is okay as well. But anything else like white regular sugar, cane sugar, powdered sugar, all of those, like I feel like I'm going to die afterwards. Like, while I'm eating them, it's great and wonderful, but afterwards, I don't feel so great. So, still trying to avoid sugar, even though I do love it. Vacation. I would love to go on vacation because I've been so sick. I haven't been able to really travel, even like short distances. So, like a mini goal that I have for this spring is to just try to go to Seattle. I have a bunch of writer friends going to a writer retreat in Canyon, Texas in June that I would love to go to. I don't know if I'll be well enough. So that's why I thought I could try out the Seattle trip. And if that works okay, maybe then I can make it to Texas. Yeah. And then my friend Becca is having a writer's retreat in Bozeman that I would love to go to too, which I'm not too worried about because we're friends. That way, if like I get sick, I can just stay at her place. But otherwise, sometimes when you go places, you're just like, you're in the hotel or you can't get a hotel or you have to leave the hotel or it's really expensive. And so, yeah. So just, like when I get sick, sometimes for like 2.5 weeks, I cannot move. Like I can't even travel in a car for like a mile. I get sick. So if I got sick somewhere, I would literally just be stuck there. So that's why I haven't really traveled a lot. Number 8 is meeting. Last year I was like, I would want to meet all these authors and I did all this author stuff. But this year I would really like to meet more people in the online like business world, like more designers, more people in marketing, more people doing ads, more people who know about SEO. So that's kind of on the list for this year, as well as, again, visiting family. Again, travel is not really a high priority for 2022 because I feel like it is just like last year. And, because you have to be vaccinated everywhere, that's also an issue as well. So, number 10 is reading. So, I read so many books last year. I read 300 books. And so that was like the one habit that I wanted to do. And I did it pretty well. But to the point though, I read so many books, I didn't have time to write. Like I was so obsessed with reading. It was very odd. But I don't want to say it's like a waste of time. It was good because it helped me to learn that I don't want to write cozies. And that's really not my thing. I really want to write thrillers. So this year I'd really like to focus reading like nonfiction books, which I pretty much barely read any nonfiction this last year. I was like 95% fiction. So we are ready for a giveaway. I know you're like, this is so much talking. So if you are still here, first of all, congratulations for having so much stamina. I am giving away the Bling On Life Planner Bundle, which I just thought, I was like, this is so cute. Who would not want to have it? Hopefully, if you win this, you are somebody who wants to have this. So again, I'm going to pick somebody randomly. I don't know if anyone has been talking. Let me see what you guys are saying. Satisha, I love it and need to get back to reading. Lori, I think that's his name. Bobby. Trying to look up that thing. Sugar. The only sugar I'll get is through fresh fruit. Wow, good for you. Like, that's like willpower. I do not have willpower. I'll talk about this in tomorrow's diet video. I am like the worst with willpower. If a diet requires any kind of willpower, I will fail 100%. So I just know me. Satisha, sugar is definitely a downer. Chrissy, I'm going to use one of the Happy Planner notebooks and create a tab for each online course I've signed up for. That's a great idea. Since it's disk-based, I can add and remove pages as needed. Lori, I think we are all alike more than we think. I can relate. Let's see. Franklin Planner. Carol. It's the 2-page per day planner. Wow. 2 pages per day. Liz, you look great. Well, thank you, Liz. If I could, I would just give the prize to you for saying something nice. I look at the content of the videos, eyelashes or makeup doesn't matter. Yeah, it's true, right? Like, I'm like wasting all this time on makeup. All right. Amy, same, no willpower with food. And I'm not even like, I was like, maybe I have like one of those eating disorders where I'm like emotionally eating, but I don't think I am. I just like food and I'm hungry literally all the time because of the medication I'm on. But yeah, I'm just hungry. I don't think I'm eating like to like fill a friendship void or anything like that. I just like food. So I don't know if anyone ever does that. Sat here eating cake. I love cake. Pat, I did a book club before the end of the year and I loved it. Hi, Lisa. Totally late, but I was taking a nap. Hey, Charisse. Charisse has been here for a while. She is like my number one, like planner in design. Like, she just like picked it up and like ran with it. Satisha, I'm writing a book too. It's about my life and what I see in my daughter's cake. I'm hoping the goals and planning can help me with procrastination. Yeah. Oh, I'm diabetic and always want sweets. Oh, that is tough. I changed my lifestyle when I almost died from diabetes. So now I do intermittent fasting and keto. Wow. Those are hard. I 100% failed at those. Like I talked about tomorrow. The only thing that worked for me was macros, but that made me really sick because it got rid of like all of the healthy, digestive, whatever gut bacteria that I had. So it was really tough. Chrissy, I just started reading a book about emotional eating this morning. Very intriguing. Karen, donuts are evil. Sugar is my weakness. Yeah, it's really tough. They say like, not only is sugar addictive, like it's more addictive than heroin, but also so is casein from dairy. So, and I do love dairy as much as I love sugar. So I think there is really literally something to that. So, all right. Hey, Google, give me a number between 1 and 20.
1,
It gave me 1 again. What is up with that? All right. 1 is Annika. That was the last comment that came up right when I said 1. Annika, if you were here, let me know if you're still here. You won the Bling On 2022. I'm going to write that down. Annika. Bling On 2022. Unless you don't want it. So let me know if you want it. Annika. It's Annika with a K. Anika. All right. Annika. The Bling On. Annika. Oh, wow. So you're here. So do you want it? It's possible you might be like, this prize is lame. I've done that before. This morning at what was it called? I went to go to Stride for the running class and they were like giving out prizes. There was like Athleta stuff, Lululemon, and I won like a stretch seminar. So I was like, I get it. Sometimes the prizes are not that awesome. All right, let's go. We still have 2 more prizes to give and some more slides to do. So we are on slide 62. I will try to go a little faster, even though I said it was 2 hours. Okay. Estimate your anchor date. So look at your year, just get out a year at a glance again, and just write out all of the dates that you know, like summer vacation for the children, or February is a no because I'm getting, you're getting married that month or something, or August, you're having a baby, right? So maybe you probably can't do anything for the rest of the year. So just mark out dates or mark out important dates that you have to plan around right now, because I think of COVID, I don't know that people have a lot of anchor dates, to be honest. I know I don't have any important anchor dates right now going on in 2022, unless there's something like self-imposed deadlines, like you've promised something to someone for a certain date, then maybe put that in as an anchor date. The other thing too is, so this time last year, I said I was going to put out all these different planners for each month. I have still not done that. So my plan this year is to do the plan I said I was going to do last year. I was thinking about redoing it, but I was like, you know what? It was good enough last year. I just didn't follow up. So I printed this out. It is next to my computer. It is in my planner, and it's out there. I don't know if anyone, I said this too. When you think about your like role models in your advisory board, I printed them out with this HP Sprocket. I can't even tell you how much I love this. So if you're like me and you cannot draw to like save your life, you are going to love this thing, because any illustration you find online or any picture, you can just print it out and it comes on this little 2x3 sticker, and you can just slap it down in your notebook or your planner, and it's like you drew it. But it's way better because if you're like me and you can't draw. All right, get a monthly planner. Again, I always think 100% planning in monthly chunks is the best thing to do. So you can see at a glance what's going on, what you need to do that month, how many days are left in the month. So I buy multiples. These are my favorite planners from Sugar Paper. And here's the problem. Usually after week 1, things change, something else is going on, and you've already written in this planner and you don't want to use whiteout. So I actually have multiple planners that I have. And then you'll see, like, just keep track, like whatever monthly planner you like, they go on sale. I just got a coupon yesterday in the mail for Target for $5 off. They have a ton of great, cute planners, especially the monthly ones. Another solution too, instead, is to use Google Calendar to track things. But again, if you're not a paper-based person, you might like Google Calendar. Another thing that, again, that I said I always really like is ClickUp. I looked at like Notion. First of all, Notion is kind of like MySpace. It is so hard to use, and it's really hard to customize and like make it look as pretty as everyone else. So when I start using Notion, I have the same problem that I had with Trello. I waste like inordinate amounts of time trying to make it look pretty. So that's why I think ClickUp would be best, like the best solution for you. One, it works great. It has a ton of features. It's super cheap. I think it's like $1.99 a month. And it also looks like a spreadsheet. Or you can make it look just like Trello if you like that look instead. So I really like ClickUp. There is a free training for ClickUp inside of the Goal Getters Club. The other thing is you need to do your best guesstimate of all the things that you want to do for each month. Again, if you don't want to go through the whole project planning methodology of trying to give everything different weights of importance and skill and, timing, then just plug some dates in. Just, like I did with that planner for whatever pop-up planners I'm putting out, just throw them out there. Again, like I said, I don't like Trello. And just be aware, because there's a lot of people right now teaching like different systems. Sometimes those systems are like, again, like learning how to use Notion is more work than it helps, right? If you have to take a whole course and like spend like anything more than a couple hours learning how to use a system, then forget about it. Just don't do it. Because you could have better use that time better spent to just go ahead and do things. So this year I actually quit like a ton of different things. I quit, and I think I put it in my January slide. So let me show these to you. Where was it? Oh, here it is. View. So if you didn't know, there is, if any of you are readers, there is the planner called Little Inklings Book Planner. It is totally sold out. I don't know why that thing sells out every year. I opened up a planner consignment store because I do so many unboxings, and especially this time of the year, I usually just throw them away. I know you're like mortified. Don't worry. I recycle them. I ask my friends if they want them. It's been like 6 years of doing planner unboxings. My friends are so over planners, they don't even want them, even though they're free. So I opened up an eBay store. So if someone wants to buy a planner, you can buy it. I'll probably shut it down, honestly, like in a month. So if nobody buys them by January, because I'm a minimalist and I hate junk, I'm just going to throw them away. So I don't really care if they move. I know people are like, can I haggle you for the price? I'm like, no, because I just don't have time for that. Like, if you want to buy it at the price I set, great. If you don't, no problem. But a lot of the planners that are out there are sold out everywhere else because I have them because I've been like crazy about keeping on top of unboxings. That's all I'll say about that. But if you want to go there, you can go to ebay.com/str/planner consignment shop. And then you can go ahead and like buy whatever plan. I think there's like 60 different planners out there. Some of them have some writing in them, like not like actual planning where I just do a pen test and I write Lisa pen test or whatever on one page. But for the most part, they're all like perfect, just as they originally arrived here. But I'm quitting so many memberships this year because I found like I was just, like I said, sometimes I buy a course or sometimes I buy a membership and it like makes me feel like I accomplished something and like, but I didn't actually do anything. And so I quit Creative at Heart, which is this like monthly business membership. It really wasn't that, it's only 19 a month. And so I've like let it ride for like the last 2 years because I'm like, oh, it's not that much money. But I never go in there. Like I looked at my login. I haven't logged in there in a year and a half. So I finally quit. And sometimes what they do is, so the pricing now is $29 per month. So I was like, oh, I don't want to quit because it's so much, but I quit that. I quit from Written to Recommended with Angela James, which is actually really great. But again, I never went in. So I quit that. Called to Write with Jenna Avery. She's a screenwriter, $29.99 a month, which was one of her discounted rates. And I still never went in. So I quit that. Write Better Faster with Becca, who I know I talk about her all the time and I love, but it really just wasn't helping me because I just kept going to the meetings or I'd show up to all of her trainings. And then that kind of like made me feel like I was doing something for writing, but I hadn't written a book this year. So I was like, I'm just going to quit everything writing related because it's just taking up space that I could have just written. Food Blogger Pro, because I was like so into food. I was like, maybe I should start a food blog. I don't have time to start a food blog. And more importantly, I'm really just not interested. For some reason, I was like fascinated by that idea. It's like $350 a year for this membership on like how to start a food blog. So I quit that. Membership guys. So this is Membership Academy, like how to start a membership. And like I said, I like tried to kick off these other memberships. They were total fails. Patreon also, I consider that a total fail. The Cozy Escape Book Club that we started the Patreon, it makes like $100 a month. Whereas at the very same time, there was another booktuber, Morgan Long. She started a booktube, Patreon as well. Hers is now up to like $7,000. So whatever magical formula Morgan Long is doing, I'm not capable of doing. It is a total flop. So I am willing to admit defeat. It's been like almost a year. And so again, I quit membership guys. In fact, I bought it for Courtney and I to look at. I don't think she's even logged in or like checked it out. Drip. So Drip charges you per email. So my email list is so huge. And I'm not bragging. It's because I give away a lot of freebies, which is how you do email list building. I don't really convert a lot, but because I have so many freebies, my list just keeps growing and growing. And I was paying $497 per month. So I was like, what am I doing? I'm paying for like so much for this mailing list. Whereas Flowdesk had like a special at the time where they were doing $19 per month for unlimited members. So clearly I need a plan that has unlimited email subscribers. Everything else like MailerLite, MailChimp, like all of those charge you per user. So I switched over to Flowdesk. It is not as great as Drip, but it doesn't matter. It's not like, it is still not worth paying the $500 difference basically for that. Lead Pages, again, this was so cheap. I was only paying, I say 800. That's not actually true. I think it's only like 400 a year. And I had been grandfathered in. And so now Lead Pages is like $300 or $400 per month. So forever I was like, I shouldn't get rid of it because it's so cheap. But again, I wasn't really using it. So I also got rid of lead pages. And they recently made an update where they got rid of all of their what do you call it? All of their old legacy pop-up pages, which is where everything was on. So I'm sure if you are a pretty fabulous designs person and you've been looking at my old videos, you'll notice all of my links are dead for my lead magnets, just gone. And that's because lead pages made that switch and then I just didn't change over. I'm switching over to Squarespace. It does free things anyway. So as soon as I get my website up, I'll have those lead magnets up for you. But all of this together has saved me $6,800 per year of money that I just keep paying out for no reason. So I would definitely, I think something nice that you could do for yourself to give yourself like a little like financial boost would be to go in to your credit card statements for the last couple months and just look at your recurring charges. Like, honestly, there were some in there where I was like, I don't even remember paying for that, like, or signing up for that service. And sometimes with those smaller ones, like, and I think that's why Paramount Plus and HBO Max, they're such small dollar amounts because they don't want you to notice it. But if you use them, that's great and you should keep them. But if you don't, like, maybe think about getting rid of some of them. And I promise they're all going to add up. Only keep the things that you're actually going to use. So that's all I'll say about that. What else? Where were we? We were on slides. Okay. All right, monthly deadlines. So again, move things around for your monthly deadlines. You know, if you like looking at them, I gave you a printout of January, but if you like looking at things in Google Calendar, they're usually easier to move around. I try to put all of my deliverables inside of there, all of the things I need to do for YouTube inside of there. And again, I just have all of the same deliverables that I had for last year because last year was really like a non-starter. So that's why I said in my last email, if 2021 didn't work out for you, kind of like how it did for me, then just forget about it and just say, you know what, I learned some things from it. It was valuable, but this year I'm going to just hit the reset button and start over. So, you know, again, don't be sad about the time that was lost. You can't get it back. Just move forward and try doing your best. So these, again, are all the same things that I'm hoping to do this year as well. What else do we have? Supporting weekly routines. Okay, so whatever you want to do, try to think of routines that you can put into your week that are going to help support that, right? So, like, again, I like the early morning workouts, but I find that writing is better in the afternoon. Like right around 2 o'clock, I try to stop doing everything, get my work done for the day, and then write. Doesn't always happen, but if I put a little reminder in my calendar, it like pops up and it tells me that that's what I should do. And so that's what I do. Also, for meals, again, this is one of my new habits. I'll go over habits in a minute, but I'm trying to actually cook. And you'll know in the past, last year, I always said, like, I'm just going to order out, but that does waste a lot of time, probably just the same amount of time as doing meal planning. And meal planning is probably healthier for me. So, and Sundays, I try to do filming. Laundry and cleaning. Saturdays and Wednesdays are just dedicated to cleaning and doing the laundry. And then Sundays, I'm going to try to do meal prep so I can grocery plan for the week, just like everybody else who has a Monday through Friday job. Again, your daily to-do list should kind of follow along. And then what I really like to do for my daily list is do a minute by minute schedule. And there were actually studies, I think, what's his name? Damon Zaharides. I really like him. He has like really great books on productivity. They've done studies where if you actually follow a schedule for the day, even though it sounds kind of boring, you have like a higher feeling of satisfaction at the end of the day because you feel like your time was well spent. Like you had planned something out and then you had finished it and then you decided, okay, well, this is something that I really like. I did all the things I said I was going to do, right? So this is kind of like my schedule for today. And then again, if you are like every day is different, you can kind of plan out your day. So then no minute is ever lost. And it doesn't matter if you follow the schedule exactly. At least, again, like I said, sometimes I'll be sitting there and I won't know what to do. And I'll start checking my email and I'll start surfing the net or scrolling through social media. And then the hours like come and gone and nothing has happened. So, All right, so it is time for another giveaway. So I really love these marker pens, which is surprising because usually I don't like Erin Condren pens, but I really like these dual tip ones. So one end is really thick and the other end is really thin. So I don't know. Google keeps letting me down. So hey, Google, give me a number between 10 and 20. There we go. So we won't get one.
Here's a random number, 16.
Okay, this time we got 16. So I have Tamika, Sharice, Satisha, Carol, Karen. I'm not counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is Shelly. I'm the same. I pay for things that I never use, but hate to quit because I got it on a deal. Yes, Shelly. I so feel you. Okay, so Shelly won the pens. All right. I will read through some of your comments. I will stop. What are Power Sheets? Power Sheets are simply a planner made by Cultivate What Matters. I have a bunch of date planners and bought stickers off Etsy to cover up the dates. Oh, that's a good idea. Trello makes my head hurt. Kavern, I use Trello, Airtable, and Google Sheets. Fortunately, they were not interchangeable. I love planners. Okay, Franklin. I wasn't crazy about that one. Okay, you guys are talking about planners. I switched over to Artful Agenda. I've actually never heard of that planner. It is an app. Oh, it's an app that you can integrate with your current calendars. It has stickers to use to decorate. You have a goal section to do. There are month, week, and day views. You can choose a cover, and there's a list section. Go check it out. You know, it's funny because I don't like anything, even though I want the flexibility of like putting pages in and taking pages out. I absolutely hate disc planners. I don't know. I can't stand them. And I don't really want to use a 3-ring binder for a planner. And I also don't like digital planners. Like I like creating them, but I don't actually like using them, even though they're so easy to like erase something as things change. But for some reason, I'm very resistant to it. I think because it's just a PDF and you have to like write on top of it. You can't actually like go to a certain date, or it's not like a system like Google Calendars. I don't know. Chrissy, Power Sheets is very pretty. Goal plan. Yeah. Thank you, Chrissy. Yes, it is very pretty. Sharice, I need to create some memberships. I'm trying to decide if I need the Planner Envy sticker membership. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you need it. D, Power Sheets are so expensive. Yeah, they are pretty pricey. Let's see. Carol, I bought a new planner binder for this year because it's my year. So I needed a new special binder. Had black for years, but got a simulated brown leather one. So gorgeous. Awesome. Chrissy, your lead pages links are still up on YouTube, but don't work. You are correct, Chrissy. They don't work. There's no reason for me to change them, only because I haven't set up the new links. Once I do, I'll set up the new links. I just cleaned up, and it took me forever. I just cleaned up all of the links on Lisa London. So those all now redirect to one sales page. Darlene, love Flowdesk. Oh my, I am just thinking of bird send. I don't know, maybe I'm missing a conversation. That's an amazing savings. Yeah, it is an amazing savings, Tasha. Everyone should do it. Just go through everything. There are things like I found one charge too, and it was 100. It wasn't even that much. It was like 197. And that sounds like basically a price for an online product, like 47, 97, 197. I was like, I probably bought something, and I couldn't find it. So I actually disputed that claim and I got the money back. I don't know if it was a fake claim. I don't know if it was something I bought. But I would always caution you, if you're setting up I don't know why people do this, but on PayPal, when you set up your PayPal persona, don't make some ridiculous, stupid name like Bunny Flowers, even though your business is called like Tupperware. Right? Like, don't like, because when people look at their credit cards, and most people do, even though I'm pretty bad about it, but they're going to be like, what is this? I don't know what this is or what I bought. Or if you have some fake online persona because you have like, I don't even know, like a pen name, but then you have to really accept money in your real name on PayPal, it's going to confuse people. So again, even if you send a note, because when they're looking at their credit card statement a month or 2 months later, the end of the month, they're not going to remember your special secret pen name and then your real name. So, always try to match those up, especially when you set up Stripe, when you set up PayPal, any of those payment gateways. Try to use something that actually is a word that you use. I accidentally, and I wish I could change this, I set up Pretty Pages, I think is my Stripe name or something like that. And I wish I could change it. So a lot of the times you'll see where I put Pretty Pages, just so I can remind people that that is really me. So again, don't make my mistake. Try to name things the same thing. Loving those pens. Terry, I hate losing time like that. Yeah. Satisha, I become complacent. Where did you get them from? They look so pretty. Those are nice. I don't know why people are putting in numbers. Okay. Shelly, are you still here? Oh yeah, you're still here. You said thanks. Where can I get those pens from? They're from Erin Condren. Pretty much all the giveaways today are from Erin Condren. So, Sharon, my word of the year is commit. That's a good one. Share. Oh, it's not share. It's Shar. I purchased the Moxie workbook and just incorporate workbooks into my weekly daily planning. Okay. That's a good idea. All right, let's go back. Are we getting close? Am I getting close we're getting close to the end. We're at 86. I know. I do so much talking. Let's go back into the slides. Okay, year in review. There is not much to review. I wrote 0 books. Last year I had 3.5. I don't even, again, this year, there's nothing to see here. 2021, I had more YouTube views, subscriber count went up, more watch time, which is just natural as the channel grew. It really wasn't because of anything I specifically did. AuthorTube, I actually quit that in 2019. Is it 2019 or maybe 2020? I stuck to that for all year and I didn't post again. And there were times for some reason that I was like, oh, I really want to post. But I didn't. And so I think it's good to, if you quit something. Don't go back on it. You decided to quit for a reason. And I quit AuthorTube because it just wasn't profitable. And I was getting a lot of I don't want to say snarky. There were some mean people out there where I was like, this isn't even a space I would be on. So I don't even respond to comments there on that channel. Although that channel still, it's not a lot, but it still makes like $100 a month in revenue for all the old content that I have out there. Which does help cover my Starbucks bill for the month. Lisa Latte, again, I quit that channel. I don't think it says 2018. This should be, I don't think I updated these. So let me delete that because I did not update the stats on that. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I did update the 2022 planners this year. That was one thing I did do. I did come out of sickness hibernation to do that. And again, I always say you can only change 1 habit a year, even though I put 2 in your habit planner, because I know people go crazy and they're like, I can do more than that. Or maybe you decided you had 1 habit you didn't. So for me though, being able to just do 1 habit has stuck. Well, that's not true. Let me take that back. Working out every day. I started that in 2019 and I've still continued that. Writing 2 hours every day in 2020, I didn't really successfully do that habit. And because I didn't successfully do that habit for the whole year, it never really stuck. And I definitely didn't write for 2 hours every day this year. Instead, this year, I said I was going to read 1 hour every day. And I actually read a ton. So I actually read, I don't know why I hit escape. I read 300 books this year, which is 5.2 books per week. That is a lot of books. I'm actually quitting Goodreads. I know that sounds crazy, but I became so obsessed with it. This was one of those habits that became a bad habit. I thought it would be a good habit because, everyone's always like, I should read more and I want to read more books. But this was self-destructive reading where I was so obsessed with reading so many books that I didn't do any writing. I really didn't do any other work because I was 2 things happened. One, I was just so focused on the prize of reading 300 books. Second, because I had read a book for the day and sometimes even listening to an audiobook would take 3.5 or 4 hours, I didn't do anything else that day because I was oh, check the box. I read a book. And so that was kind of dumb. So again, this was a habit that I did that didn't work out that I'm definitely going to quit because it was just such a bad habit that it ruined other like healthy aspects of my life. So this year for 2022, I'm going to try to meal plan every day. And so I think I've been eating so horribly, and not like horrible, like McDonald's or anything. I just like eat, like yesterday for lunch, I had beef jerky and popcorn. Is that really healthy? No, it's not. And it really wasn't enough food. So later in the afternoon, then I had some crackers and cheese, which again is like appetizer party food. It's not like real food. And it's because I didn't plan anything out. And because I didn't plan anything out, I had nothing to eat. And then I was starving. So I'm trying to, for 2022, meal plan every day. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to plan out the whole week because I honestly think that's way too long to plan. And I've noticed when I buy groceries on Sunday, by the time Thursday hits, some of them are kind of like, they've gone bad. They've like wilted. They're not tasty anymore. And they're like, all the vegetables are like wimpy and they're not crunchy. So I'm just going to try to plan one day in advance. And yes, I probably will have to make more trips to the grocery store, but that's okay. So I'm sure I'll get probably into a rhythm or something. Who knows? So we'll see how that goes. All right. So what surprised me? A lot of things surprised me that I really just didn't do anything, that I still have not finished the self-confidence planner that I started in 2020. What else? That was kind of it. Just the whole year surprised me. And also that I was such a rebel, and that I cannot like follow any rules, including my own. Accountability. So if you are like me and you were like the whole year came and went and I really didn't do anything, then you are probably also someone who is like, maybe wants to join the Goal Getters Club with me. And again, this is not a hard sell. I really just want people in here who like want to be in here, who like want to work on their goals every day, and who also buy into, and again, it's not for everybody, who buy into, I want to commit to committing, I want to commit to actually creating, accomplishing, or finishing one thing every single month. And if you're like me and you need somebody else to be watching and someone else to be checking on you, then this is probably the club for you. Because again, I think last year, just left to my own devices, without anyone checking on me, without anyone to report to, I just did what I wanted to do, which was not a lot. And so again, I think what would have happened, I don't think it would have helped me with being sick. But if I had been sick only 2.5 weeks, that is only half of the month. There is still a whole nother half of the month I could have gotten things done. I could have readjusted. I could have met with somebody. If I knew that I had a deadline coming up where people were waiting, I would have met that deadline. So for me, definitely the accountability isn't really that someone's checking on me. The accountability is that somebody's watching and somebody's expecting something. And just from that, I'm going to make sure I get things done. So what am I offering in the Goal Getters Club? So 4 things that you're going to get. So 1, you'll get a live stream like this with me every month. So on the first of every month, it doesn't matter if it's a Friday, it's a Saturday, it's a Sunday, it doesn't matter. Like clockwork, we are going to meet on the first of every month. You're going to get a workbook that you're going to fill out with all of your goals. We're going to make it worthwhile so that you know exactly what you want to do and how you're going to get it done. And then you're also going to get the slide deck because I'll have a monthly update every month. And you'll also get book summaries. So book club, to me, remember I said I wanted to do a book every month. I think it's really important to work on your productivity, not crazy, like 300 books a year, like I did last year, which is honestly kind of a waste of time. But I think 1 book a month is still worth reading. I still love books. I still think they have a lot of value. But I think they need to be like contained to just once per month. So every month we're going to read a book together. If you don't have time to read the book, I will provide the book summary for you, just like I do for slides for this and for every other book summary if you've been in the author resource library. So you can just get a quick, like, what was the point of the book? What do I need to know? What was useful? What was not? So we have a different book for every month. So Marie Kondo, I know everyone's read that. She actually has a 3rd book. I don't know if anyone knows this, called The Joy at Work. And it's about minimalism in your actual everyday job and your career. So I thought that would be interesting. Meal prep is for March. Again, that is something I am interested in. You might want to skip that month if you're like, I am an expert, Lisa. I have 12 children, from 4 different families, and I know what I'm doing. Hero on a Mission is from Donald Miller. He's the guy that wrote Story Brand. and it's his newest book. It actually hasn't even come out yet. It comes out later this month. Turning Pro, Steve Pressfield. I just heard really good things about this, how just changing. And again, this is mostly because I am a rebel. And when you're a rebel, outside forces or internal forces don't really help, but just identifying as something does help. So Turning Pro is all about like telling yourself, I am a professional and professionals do this with all those self affirmations. So that's why I picked that. The No Spend Challenge Guide from Jen Smith. I'm always interested in debt, repayment. Not that I have any debt. But I think everyone's reading Profit First, which honestly, in my opinion, was an awful book. I hated it. It didn't make any sense to me. But No Spend Challenge actually sounds like a great book to me. Limitless by Jim Quick. This is actually really popular. I don't know. It had like 36,000 reviews, something crazy like that. So I was like, well, maybe we should all check it out. It's just how to learn faster. And then same thing with all the other ones. They all just kind of sounded really interesting. They had tens of thousands of reviews. And I just think that they're worth checking out. So that is part of book club. So those are one of the things you'll get every month is the book summary slides. And then you'll also get a Voxer with me. So on the 15th of every month, because usually that's like the turning point where you're like, I think I'm going to quit. I just think like, forget it. The month is already wasted. It's the 15th. I haven't worked on any of my goals. So if you just need like a little pep talk or just want to chat things over, bounce some ideas off of me, because we are all in different time zones, I'm going to offer Voxer service. So I've been doing that with new people who sign up to Planner Academy, and it's really helped out a lot. I think just to know two things. One, to know that you have that service, and also two, just that it's a monthly check-in, right? Like, what have I done? Do I have any questions that I need to ask because it's the middle of the month? And do I just need help getting back on track? Or what can I do to salvage the rest of this month? And so those are all the things that you're going to get in the Goal Getters Club. So it's going to work like clockwork every month. I wasn't sure if I could run a membership, but I have been successfully running the Cozy Escape Book Club and the Paracozy Book Club for the last 2.5 years. I know. I can't believe it's been that long. I remember it was the 2019 or whatever plan with me where I was like, I'm starting a book club with my friend Courtney. And so I have always shown up every month. Like there have been a couple months where Courtney has been sick or something came up. I am always there. Same thing with the Paracozy. My co-host was not able to show up a couple times, 3 times, and I was always there. So 100%, I know that I can show up. Like, I think it's always good when you do these memberships to like test the waters to make sure you can do it. I feel confident I can do it, mostly because I don't know, responsibility is low for me, but I think just from working in a professional corporate environment, I always feel like a strong sense of like responsibility to like show up if I say I'm going to show up. So that's what I do. So one of the things you'll get in there too is the ClickUp guide for solopreneurs. You're going to get all the slides. You're going to get the printable PDF, all the training. And then you'll also get access to Voxer to me on the 15th. So if you have anything like, again, low pressure questions. So that's kind of what Voxer is if you've never used it. It's basically like text messaging. So you can send me a text, you can send me a voice memo on there, and then I'll just answer throughout the day. So you don't have to worry again about time zones. It is asynchronous. You can brainstorm things. It's just kind of like calling a friend. We'll just kind of chat. Doesn't have to be anything formal. I find that when you do those one-on-one sessions, one, an hour is a really long time. And two, also like, sometimes you feel the pressure to ask something really, really important. And sometimes you're like, I just have a dumb question that I just kind of wanted to throw out there. So that is also something you're going to get. So again, if this is you where you're like, every month, I want to make sure that I accomplish something, then make sure you join, because I promise we'll make sure that we accomplish something and we get things done. So that is the end of my spiel. So the link for that, I believe, is inside your I believe it's inside of your planner workbook. But if not, It is right here inside the shop. So if you go to my shop, to programs.prettyfabulousdesigns.com or to the website and click on shop, when you're inside of here, if you go to memberships, and again, you'll see these are the two new areas because I haven't added actual pictures to them. So the vendor Rolodex, oh, look at that. I didn't even like put anything in the vendor Rolodex, but the memberships inside of here, you'll see the Goal Getters Club. So you can either pay monthly or you can pay for the whole year in advance and then save some money. So this has everything that you're going to get. And this has just a reminder of the Voxer and all of the book clubs and the bonuses and everything else. So let me know if you have any questions about anything. Lori, he really is. I met him through my StoryGrid certification. Oh, we're talking about authors. Chrissy, I met Marie Kondo's other two books, but not this one yet. Oh, I met Stephen Pressfield. He's great. Yes, Stephen Pressfield. Oh, right. He wrote The War of Art. Yeah, that was a really good book. Pat, I love books. That looks like a great list and none I've actually read. Awesome. Chrissy, I signed up. Awesome. Yay. Tamika, what times do you meet? They're always at noon Pacific Standard Time. So the first of the month, always at noon Pacific Standard Time. And then the 15th is just all day. Don't worry about whatever time zone you're in. I will accommodate that. So if I have to answer questions through to the 16th, I will do that. And then the book club will just come out sometime during the month. I don't know when. It will come out at some point. Carol, yeah, I needed to have finished my book by now. January is my new goal to have it finished. You can totally do it. Today's the first, Carol. Then revision 1, 2, and 3. Plan to send it to agents the first week of April. I think that's a great plan. Karen, I had an almost entirely dormant 2021. Yeah, I honestly don't know. Like, if you feel like me, where you're like, how did the year just come and go like that? Like, if that's how you feel, don't worry. Like, we're going to fix that for this year with the Goal Getters Club because we're going to make sure that we stay on track every single month to get something done. So that in the end of the year, if you want to send out a recap to your clients, you're going to say, in January, I did this. In February, I did this. In March, I did this. In April, I did this. So that you can feel like you are a rock star at the end of the year. And you can send out that email where everybody else is jealous. Lori, Carol, it's been lovely chatting with all of you. Okay, Tamika, I signed up. I need accountability to stay on track. Awesome. Oh my God. Do you guys read this? Tamika, I actually quit my full-time job and going to business myself this year. Yay. Congratulations, Tamika. Shelly, I just joined. I'm excited for this. Awesome. Paula, do you incorporate vision boards? You know, Paula, I cannot draw. I say this all the time, but definitely if you have a vision board, again, my solution is always to buy, because I can't draw, is to buy the HP Sprocket. It's only like $79 and it literally comes the same day. They have some weird thing on Amazon, or maybe it's just for my zip code, where I ordered it and I ordered it at like 9 a.m. and it got here at like 3 p.m. But that is how you can do your vision board. In fact, I do have a vision board that I made like 7 years ago, like actually one out of magazines. And I went to go update it. I don't know if anyone knows this. There aren't any magazines out there. Like, a lot of magazines that used to like be in print are out of print. And they are also, or they're just online only. Like, I subscribed to Oxygen magazine at the beginning of last year, and they just sent an email saying we're going out of print. This is it, the end, even though I paid for like 2 years. Same thing with Muscle and Fitness. I think Outdoor magazine, like a lot of magazines just are out of print. So, you know, again, if you like cutting things out of magazines to put up on a vision, like a physical vision board, it's going to be a little tough without an HP Sprocket, because the magazines just don't exist anymore because everything is digital. Yeah. Shelly, will the first of the month meetings be recorded in case I can't be there live? Yes, 100%. Everything will be recorded. You get everything every single month. So Teresa, you are so inspiring and real. I would love to learn from you in one-on-one session. Awesome. Thanks. Chrissy, I've been having fun with mind maps if any of you prefer digital to paper. Oh yeah, mind maps could work. I mean, you can actually do a mind map on Procreate in theory. Again, I just started the lesson, so I'm not really sure. Pat, definitely love the idea of accountability. We'll sign up. Awesome. Chrissy, I'm doing the 12-week yearbook plan with Pomodoro. Oops, it jumped. I don't know where that went. So sometimes when I'm reading a comment, on Clubhouse, but I'm also going to use your group for accountability. Awesome. I don't know, Chrissy, do you like Clubhouse? I actually actively hated Clubhouse. I'm just gonna be, I couldn't stand it because I was like, I don't have time to listen to all these voice memos. And I don't even listen. I don't know if anyone knows this. I don't listen to voicemail. I have not listened to voicemail in 4 years. So your voicemail, if you don't listen to it, if you just let it fill up, your voicemail box gets full and then you don't have to listen. Because when people call, it'll say this voicemail box is full. And that has been my voicemail for like 4 years. People don't even bother now. So because I can't stand listening to anything. I'm like, I don't have time. Like sometimes my friends, because they're driving or to save time, they'll leave me like a voice memo on text and I'll just write back, I'm not listening to your voice memo because I just don't have time. I don't know why they can't do like the push to talk where they can dictate and then it can take your dictation. I know I'm a little crazy. I just feel like I don't have time to listen to that. Tanya, I just got on. Will the replay stay up? Hi, Tanya. Yeah, the replay will stay up for all of this month. Or I think all of this month. I don't really know. I'm just making words up right now. The replay will stay up probably for all of this month because we'll close the Goal Getters Club, I think, at the end of the month. Tracy, vision boards in Canva are awesome. Cool. Carol, I created a digital vision board yesterday and I have a bulletin board vision board in my office. Cool. Wanda, I am signing up, just completed one planner, but I'm working on a second one to have options in my store. D, oh my God, I just wrote a vision board article and shared free vision board templates on my blog. Oh, okay. Think Space, pre-made business templates. Yes, I've seen some of those. I don't know if I really like those. Okay, I have one more giveaway, so don't go away. I know you guys are like, it's been 2 hours, so I want to reward you with another giveaway, which is, I know, you're like, you don't need the slide. Giveaway number 4, which is a $25 gift card to Erin Condren. So here we go. Hey, Google, give me a number between 15 and 25.
20.
Okay, so let me count these really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. D, I made a digital vision board templates. D, you have won the $25 gift card. If you're still here, D won the $25 gift card for Erin Condren. Can I spell? Condren. D, are you here? Let's see. D. Oh, yay, you're here. I wrote too soon. You wrote yay before I even finished. All right, let me stop sharing. All right, everyone. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day, a wonderful start to your year. And remember, if you would like some accountability and hang out all the time with me, you know I'm a talker, then make sure to sign up. We're going to all have awesome things that we say that we did every month. I'm going to send it out in my newsletter. I know you're like, unless you tell me not to, we're going to talk about this. We're going to celebrate this, and we're going to make sure that this year stays on track. So again, one thing per month, that's all you have to do to say you're successful in the club. And that's it. Because I think when I look at the last year, I didn't do a single thing all year. If I did stuff, it happened to me on accident. So I got an agent last year. It was my dream agent. It happened on accident. I didn't pursue it. I didn't try to do it. So that's why I didn't really talk about that as an accomplishment this year, because I didn't really make it happen. It just kind of like accidentally happened despite everything that I was doing. Same thing with Adobe Max. I spoke at the Adobe Max conference. It sounds like it should be great and exciting. I didn't mention that either because it kind of happened on accident. They happened to ask me if I wanted to speak. I didn't try to be a speaker. I didn't like try to put myself out there. Same thing when I did a 2-hour live stream on their channel. So, or it was like 4 hours. It was a long live stream. But the same thing, I didn't really, it was like an accomplishment, but it wasn't really an accomplishment because I didn't really go for it. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of happened on accident and that's great. I'm not like discounting it, but I want to feel proud of like things that like I actually tried. And none of those things were on my to-do list to do for the year. So, yeah, so this year it's going to be like putting things on the list, executing and getting things done. So the first thing we're going to do together is go over, because I know a lot of you didn't write, a lot of you guys had word of the years, but we're going to do mantras and affirmations. So I'm going to send things out. I didn't mention this either because I have tried so hard to get these communities to work. I think, and I could be wrong, I think Mighty Networks as a platform was just confusing. So I also tried to create a community on Podia. I think Podia is just kind of ugly, right? Like you have to go in there, you couldn't really post. So I just signed up for a membership to Circle so we can have a community on Circle for all the goal getters. You can all interact, chat with each other. It works just like Facebook. And then you can post your own things. Like you can post your own images, your own videos. So you don't have to feel like on Patreon, I think part of the problem too was people couldn't respond, like do anything but respond with a comment to a post. They couldn't actually do their own posts. So I've done a lot of research. Circle seems to be the best. It like mimics Facebook, but it isn't Facebook. It's like our own private network. So as soon as I get that set up, you know what? I'm going to commit to saying I'm going to set it up today. How is that? I will set that up today for us and I will send out a link to you tomorrow morning. So check your email in the morning. I will send a link to Circle. We'll all be on Circle chatting with each other and we'll see how that goes, right? I'm willing to try another platform in case it's the platform. Carol, good luck, everyone. Great way to start the year. This was a great info and awesome start for the year. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. If you're in the club, follow me so I can find you. Pat, I did create 2 new planners for my Etsy shop this year. Good job, Darlene. Shar, that was amazing. I hope you will love and use these multiple screens. You can print them as well. All right, everyone. Oh, Karen, you're so nice. I'm so inspired by these energy and achievements. I didn't achieve anything this year, girl. Next year is going to be the year of achievement. If I achieved anything this year, it was on accident. So sometimes maybe all you have to do is check your email. Ariana, wealth of information. Excited to hop on. Oh, Terry. Okay. Are you moving the Planner Academy 110 group over to Circle also, if this is still a group? You know, no. And so, I mean, I shouldn't say no. Here's the thing. I don't think that the people in Planner Academy want to be in a group. So what I'm going to do is if you want to be in the group, you can be in the group, but I'm not going to try to make the group happen because I think a couple things happen. One, I know for me, when I sign up for a course and I'm so embarrassed, we'll go over this next time. I'm just going to do a confessional. I think we should all do a confessional of everything that we've signed up for and what we're going to do with it. Because I think it's okay to say, I'm not going to use it. I regret the $1,000 or $2,000 I spent on this course. Or we're going to say, you know what? I really like this course. I signed up for it for a reason. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to program it into August. Taking the course will be my thing to do. But I think a lot of people sign up for Planner Academy. It sounds exciting, but you change your mind. And sometimes you change your mind, not because you're like lazy and didn't want to do it. Sometimes you change your mind because you're not interested in it. I signed up for Julie Ball's subscription box boot camp. It was like, I don't even know, $1,600, $2,000. It was I wouldn't say it was a great course. It was an okay course, but I was not, after I took it, I was like, okay, I am not inspired to do a monthly subscription box. That sounds like a lot of grief and frustration that I don't want to do. However, I am glad that I took the course because I did find it useful in finding some box vendors that I did share with my Planner Academy students. But in general, it's okay. Like, at least I know, right? Like, sometimes you just need to try things out so you know that you don't want to do them. Unfortunately, it was like a very expensive trial. And I think that happens sometimes with Planner Academy. So forcing people into something, I think sometimes makes them feel bad. This is a long way to say, will I have a circle for Planner Academy? Probably not. So, uh, Chrissy, yes, confessional. Yeah, I think sometimes, like, again, I think a big problem with debt is like just not admitting your mistakes and trying to hide them. And so, if we can all just admit all of the financial mistakes that we made, like when it comes to courses, I think you'll feel better about it. And I think you'll also feel better about not buying something in the future. So maybe we can all like check in with each other too and say, hey, I was thinking about buying, I don't even know, probably whatever course, there's probably somebody else who bought it or knows somebody who bought it and can be like, that probably isn't worth it. Your time would be better spent just looking up some free YouTube videos, right? And then you won't do it. So there was also another membership last year I quit because I do love YouTube. It was the Primal Video Academy, and I love those guys. They're great. But once I had done all of their coursework for whatever it was, like 3 months, I kind of like did everything. And the most value you could get was asking them questions. But they were so successful, which good for them. Their group had grown to where I sat through, I remember like a 4-hour call and I just had one question and he never got to my question because there were so many people on the call. And I was like, well, this is just silly. Right. So what was my point? Oh, anyways, that was something else that was valuable, but I quit because I just wasn't able to get like enough FaceTime. So Paula, Lisa, do you find you already know most of the material? Are you talking about the material inside of the subscription box bootcamp? Then it wasn't that I found that if that's the course you're asking about, it wasn't that I found that I knew the material. I found that I learn from slides and I learn from real examples. And so the way Julie Ball taught the class was she just chatted. She like a life coach. She just talked to the screen. And when you're doing a tech tutorial, I want to see what you click, right? So that's how I teach InDesign. I mean, I don't know how you could learn InDesign if I was like, okay, when you open it, just kind of open the file and then make it the size you want. And then, throw some pink over here. Like, right? You're like, I need to see where you're clicking and what buttons it is. And so that's kind of like how I would describe her style. She just chatted and I didn't really like learn like what to do. I think that was part of it too. Sometimes when some of the courses don't actually tell you what to do and they just talk in generalizations, it just wasn't useful. And again, not knocking her at all. It was just a different style than like what I prefer. And so that was just different. And I don't even know if you were asking about that. Chrissy, you are on YouTube all the time. You definitely did a lot of work. I do love YouTube, but thanks. I'm glad you felt like that. Vanya, I am in Planner Academy 1.1 and like to be in a group that is engaged. Also, are we still planning to get 2.0? Yes, I'm actually done with 2.0. Again, I like made the material and the outline and I was like, this is awful. So I did a beta group and the beta group did say that it was fine. And so, in fact, some people were like, I really like the material. I don't know what my perfection. Yeah, it is an issue, the perfectionist problem. So yeah, we'll get Planner Academy 2.0 out there. We'll get it done. It will come out this year. As far as groups, Vanya, you are like one of the more vocal and enthusiastic and involved people. So if you would like to lead a circle group, let me know. I think that is the solution. I need to recognize that I am not a leader for like group things. Like I think you saw all my relationship building skills are at the bottom. So I think if someone else once inside Planner Academy wants to lead the circle group and really like be a cheerleader and a facilitator for that group, Vanya, if you feel like that's you, let's talk. I think Charisse would be great at that too. She is like super wonderful with like just jumping in and checking in on people. And that's just not something I'm like really good at. So I think that is the solution. Let's see. I'm feeling a bit worried about looking at what I signed up for and forgot about. Yeah, definitely like just check your credit card statements, Terry. Okay, thanks for the info. I completely understand. D, I would love to join the club. My classes may clash with 12 p.m. I love the accountability part of it. Chrissy, I signed up with Planner Academy and then watched Marisa's EPM and signed up for that. Now I'm doing an online one-on-one coaching program instead, but I still want to create a planner. Awesome. Yeah. How is that going? Do you like Marissa's? Marissa is like amazing. I think I almost feel like I have to apologize. I sent so many emails out, but I don't feel bad because, again, I never push out anyone's program ever, as you know. I only push out things that I really feel are valuable. And yes, I did make some affiliate income from it, but I definitely 100% invested in it myself. I think back when it was still 2000 when I invested in it. She's never raised the price. And I found a lot of value in it. And just like, I think I pushed out styled stock as well. I think that was a great investment too. But yeah, I don't think I ever push out weird things. Like I think I'm on, there's a guy, the Scrivener guy, he pushed out some weird thing for cryptocurrency the other day. And I was like, why am I getting notes about cryptocurrency? Paula, love your InDesign courses. Awesome. Tamika, I thought your InDesign course, I took your InDesign course and loved it. Great. Planner candidates on a list of courses as well to join. You should totally join it, Tamika. Christy Marisa blows my mind. As an introvert, watching her talk for hours and completely focused is so impressive. Awesome. Yeah. I think I said to everyone, my only complaint about Marisa is that, and it's funny that I say this, but I'm like, get to the point. Stop telling me this long story. Cause she used to be a documentary filmmaker. And instead of just being like, you need to put a list together of your top 10 things your customer wants, instead she'll talk about like, what happens if you don't give your customer the list? A story about, something else that happened to another client. And then finally, like an hour and a half later, she's like, now put together your top 10 list. And I was like, oh my God, just get to the point so I can like get on with my life. But I do watch all of her videos at triple speed because she does talk a little slow. Her content is top notch. I've made a bunch of online friends that are in my coaching group. Awesome. That's really great. Pat, I need to check out your InDesign course. Definitely check out the InDesign course. I don't know. Let me know if it's drip feeding for you. I thought I changed the setting. It should just give you all 5 lessons all at once. But if it doesn't, send me a note and I can fix it manually. I thought I fixed it on the whole course, but if it's doing that for you, I can definitely run in and check it. Chrissy, she's on right now, actually, best year ever for 3 hours. Oh yeah, that's right. She just, you know why? Because she does that thing where she has like, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to write down your vision board or whatever, which I don't know why. I get annoyed by that. I get annoyed by a lot of things, but I get annoyed when people are like, here's some time to think about this. And I'm always like, I can just do it later. Just just give me the information so I can like go on my way or whatever. So that is correct. She has that going on. I think Brendan Bouchard had a, annual planning workshop going on today too. Dean Grazioso had something going on today too. I always talk about Dean. I'm not really a Dean Grazioso person. He's always like showing pictures of him hanging out with, who's that big guru? I can't remember the guy, the NLP guy. Anyways, he is really good with sales funnels. Like I remember, like whatever you sign up with him for, it will do an upsell, then it'll do a downsell, then it'll do an upsell, and it'll keep going on with downsells for like 10 screens. So eventually he's like that guy that asked you out where you're like, okay, finally I'll say yes if you just like stop asking me questions. So that's like, he just like breaks you down till you buy. Chrissy, I don't use Adobe enough to justify the cost right now, but I still want to do more InDesign. Oh, Chrissy, did you miss? They had a sale for Black Friday where it was like 40% off. Tony Robbins. Thank you, Anika. You're right. Dean Grazioso is always in photos with Tony Robbins. That's what it is. Dean comes across as slimy in a way that Tony does not. He also does not have Tony's charisma. That's true. I mean, I think the problem too is, to be totally honest, Dean is just not as good looking as Tony Robbins. So I think that's part of it too. Chrissy, I can already tell that my introvert brain is getting overfilled with the sound of talking. Yes, it's true. In fact, we have now gone 2.5 hours. I'm 30 minutes over. I don't know if you're still here. Thank you if you're still here. I do that too, where I'm like, I don't want to miss something in case there's something amazing. There's nothing else amazing coming out. I really hope you join Goal Getters. I'm super excited for everyone to join. I will send an email after this with the slides, and I'll also send an email after this with the link to join Goal Getters. And I hope everyone's having amazing and fantastic Saturday. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.